Welcome everybody to Tuesday night on a Friday. This is a special edition of MCToon Live, where we will be having a debate between a Apollo moon landing denier and the T guy. We'll get into that in a minute. The Apollo landing denier is Rasa Vihari. You may have seen him around. He sometimes gets considered a flat earther. He's not. But Rasa says that he showed up. He wasn't in for a second, but he's coming. Anyway, Rasa has said things. We're going to get into it. He does not reject. Oh, Rasa, you have my video playing in the background. It's echoing. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Anyway, let's get them up here. Here we go. There they are. I will be moderating, and the format is in the description. And looks like Rasa got in the call here. Down in the corner, you see the live stream from NASA is playing on the screen. And so we will be finishing this up before the splashdown happens, before reentry. So you'll see Earth getting slowly larger. I have that live stream muted, but I'll unmute it at different times if it's good. Anyway, let's get into who these people are here, and let's start with the T guy.
Okay, thanks, Michael, for having me. Hello, Toonies. I am Roger Morton. I have a fairly small YouTube channel called The TT Guy, rather than just the T Guy. TT, that's all right. It stands for That Tall Guy. And if you look at my YouTube channel, you see I'm skeptical about quite a few things. Back in the day, I was very skeptical about psychics. So I have a video on how you can turn your Facebook stalking ability into a psychic reading operation for fun and profit. So that's an interesting video. I've also got stuff on flat Earth, and I'm interested in people that deny that the moon landings happen, of course, which is kind of the topic of this live stream. So, of course, if you go around traveling through Conspirataria, you'll obviously come across the claim that people couldn't have possibly gone to the moon because the Van Allen radiation belts are far too dangerous. They'd kill you because they're deadly. But up until now, I have never found someone that can actually show me the data and do a calculation that actually proves that is the case. That is until now. But because today in the live stream, we have Rasa. And Rasa is an astrophysicist and a quantum physicist. In fact, he's the leading quantum physicist of all of China, and he works in the field of space radiation. So he is going to be the guy that is going to be able to prove that the Apollo missions were a hoax. He says he can do that, and he bases it on data from Artemis 1. So Artemis 1 was a robotic mission that went around the moon.
You're just introducing yourself.
Yep.
So don't get too deep. Yeah.
I'm not getting too deep, no. And it collected radiation data. So I think, and Rasa says he can use that data to prove that the Apollo missions were a hoax. And I believe him. I believe if he can come up with an answer that tells us the answer to the question, how long it would take to die if you're exposed to the radiation that the Artemis 1 had in the best shielded part of the capsule, I believe that if you can do that, if you can show that that time is small, like 10 minutes or so, that would definitely prove that the Apollo missions were fake, because if you can't survive the Artemis mission, you wouldn't be able to survive the Apollo mission, which is done with 1960s technology versus 2020 technology. So, folks, you could here be on a very famous live stream where someone actually proves that the Apollo missions was a hoax, because Rasa is going to be able to tell us how long it would take to die in the best shielded part of the Orion space capsule. So let's do it.
All right, Rasa, you want to introduce yourself? Give a little background. Not get into your presentation yet, but just let us all know who you are and whatever you want to say. You got to unmute yourself first in case you don't. There we go.
Thank you. I'm here. You can hear me, right?
Yep. You still have my video playing in the background, so I'm hearing myself talk.
Oh, that's difficult. I don't know how I'm getting your video playing.
Is it on a different screen in the room somewhere?
No, I'm only on Skype, Zoom.
So, all right, so take off your headphones and then you'll hear it. So I'm talking now through my. Yep, there we go.
Okay, sorry. Now I got it.
All right.
Actually, can I screen share?
For your introduction about who you are?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. So, I think I can do that with this Zoom.
Yep, Zoom does that.
Share screen. Share.
Yep.
Screen.
There we go.
Hey.
All right. I see it.
And other people can see it as well, right? So
Yep, it's going out to YouTube.
All right, so just to start with my introduction here, we have to get a little bit of background. In the end of 1983, beginning of 1984, China...
Hold on, this is about you, not about the treaty. Don't talk about...
I know. Yeah, it'll get to me, but I'll get to that point of how I fit in the picture here.
All right, I'm going to have some tab while you do that, all right?
No problem.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so at the end of 1983, beginning of 1984, China ascended to the Outer Space Treaty. Now, this is a chart of... I don't know if you can see. Can you see the top of this?
Key firsts achieved by Long March 3.
Right. Okay, so Long March 3 was the first Chinese rocket that had help from NASA because China had just joined the Outer Space Treaty at the end of 83, beginning of 84. And these are some of the firsts made by Long March 3. Basically, to make it simple, Long March 2C was retired eventually, and Long March 3. So you can see some of the firsts here. First, a cryogenic upper stage. First, Chinese rocket capable of geostationary transfer orbit. First, 3-stage Chinese orbital launch vehicle. First, high-entry upper stage restart capable. So all of these first, additional cryogenic third stage, these are all the first made by the Long March 3, which was done with the help of NASA at the end of 83, beginning of 84, when China joined the Outer Space Treaty.
So how do we know it was that NASA helped?
Well, you can see all those first we just mentioned. This is definitely
okay, but how is the I don't know. How was the documentation of the United States helping?
Well, do you want me to kind of finish this?
Finish it.
I'd like to introduce yourself, actually. Yeah,
you haven't gotten to who you are yet, Rasa.
I'm getting that. It's coming up.
Often it starts with, "You can call me Rasa," but yeah, you go around. You're getting it. You're getting there.
Yeah, I'm just about there. So I'm having problems seeing the top of the screen here, but can you?
United States embargo on Chinese launches.
Right. So this comes. It's hard for me to see.
Do you want some glasses? I can lend you mine.
The top of the screen. Okay, I'm just going to kind of hit some key points. So it's talking about how China was eventually banned from the ISS. Okay, we're all quite familiar with this. So I'm not going to go into the details, but
thank you.
in the 2011, there was an effective exclusion. The U.S. Congress passed the Wolf Amendment, prohibited NASA from bilateral cooperations with China, hosting Chinese astronauts projects. China could not participate in ISS. Now, however, I'm going to read this part. Thales Alenia forced to discontinue ITAR-free satellites 2013 after the United States Department fined U.S. company for selling ITAR components. Thales Alenia Space had long complained that every satellite nut and bolt was being ITAR directed, and the European Space Agency, ESA, accused the United States of using ITAR to block exports to China instead of protecting technology. So there was actually kind of like a little battle going on between the European Space Agency and the Congress of America, who was trying to ban China. Then we're coming to 2014. This was Buzz Aldrin coming to China, and we're going to get into that later. But just let me finish this off. In 2016, an official at the United States Bureau of Industry and Space confirmed no U.S. origin content, regardless of whether it's incorporated or foreign made, can go to China. Since 2016, the European aerospace industry is working on developing replacements for the United States satellite components. Now, this is where I come into the picture. In 2016, right when this was going on, this kind of battle between European Space Agency and NASA. It's not NASA, it's actually the United States Congress, but NASA's hands are bound by the U.S. Congress. So in 2016 was when I was invited to join the Chinese National Space Agency. At the time, I turned them down. I said no thanks, because I was working on a different project. I was working for what you would call the energy department of China. So what happened in 2017? In 2017, European Space Agency astronaut Samantha Costaferti and Matthias Maurer traveled to China to train with the Chinese Manned Space Agency. Training took place at China Astronaut Research and Training Center near Beijing. Purpose of the training: prepare for potential future cooperation with the China Space Station, practicing how to move around the space station. So basically, European astronauts training Chinese astronauts how to live and function on the Chinese space station. Okay, so I was actually involved with this a little bit, but not much. I have met those European astronauts when they came to China. But naturally, we don't talk about moon landing subjects. That's not a professional thing to do. So we're going to come back here to 2014. This was when Buzz Aldrin came to China. Almost done with time. Okay, so total of 93 astronauts from 18 countries gathered Wednesday, Beijing Planetary Congress, sponsored by China Mainland Corporation. This event attracted some of the top figures in space exploration history, including Alexei Leonov, the first person to walk in space, Valentina Tereshkova, the first female astronaut, and Buzz Aldrin, the second person to land on the moon. So this is an official Chinese document I'm reading from here. And what happened at this meeting in 2014 was not only did NASA...
This is not introduction, Tune. This is evidence.
Yeah.
This is what
Rasa, come on. You just say, my name's Rasa. I do this.
Right, I'm done.
And the topic is radiation. I don't know whether the topic is radiation.
All right.
God.
Yeah.
All right, so...
Okay.
For reference, people, the format is on my website. The link is in the description. If you just go to my website, MCToon.net, search for Rasa, R-A-S-A, or the T guy. I got to put the second one in there. Hold on. The TT guy. And you'll find the format. So There was like approximately 5 minutes was how much that was supposed to be, or whatever. Anyway, we're gonna just move forward, okay?
And that's the topic up there.
So
the topic is up there.
yeah, okay. So the topic here. All right, there's still an echo.
That'll probably be my share screen, or my microphone. Can I finish this the last point is that in 2014, when Buzz Aldrin came to China, also Valentina Tereshkova and Alexei Leonov came to China, and all three of them had promised to come clean about the fact that they faked their missions.
Do you have like a video or a signed document, or how did they do this?
No, you'll just have to take my word for it.
Nobody will take your word for it, Rasa. That's not how things like this work. But okay, awesome. Trust me, bro. All right, we ready to move on? Okay, so the next part here is, Rasa, you have about 10 minutes. I'm going to set a timer. I'll let you know when you're at 10 minutes, and then like wrap it within the next minute. Where
actually, can he go first, or
no? This was the format that we exchanged an email back and forth, and you said, "Yeah, that works for you." So, 10 minutes.
There's a rebuttal period, though.
All right,
There's a rebuttal period,
hold on.
so you can rebut me.
Yeah, all right, Roger, hold on. So you present your evidence. The topic is the radiation that is being experienced right now through the last 10 days by the Artemis 2 mission, specifically talking about the readings from previous missions, Artemis 1 and others. 10 minutes. Then Roger gets 5 minutes rebuttal, and then a 10-minute discussion between the two of you for that topic. Then we swap, and Roger will give a presentation for 10 minutes, uninterrupted, with a 5-minute response, uninterrupted by Rasa, and then a 10-minute back and forth, and then a Q&A. Okay, so you got 10 minutes, Rasa, whenever you start. Your camera looks much nicer than last time, but your audio still is a little rough. But all right, whenever you're ready. Your microphone is still muted, though.
Yeah, sorry about that.
There we go.
Yeah, please. As you know, I'm quite bad with time, so
I know.
I'll try to get to the as directly as I can, even though I'll probably not get there by 10 minutes. But
oh my gosh. Okay. Then it won't be very interesting if you don't even get to your point. Like, you jump. Here's a hint. Jump to your point right away. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So this is as close as I can get to it. So this is a conversation I just had with Grok about an hour ago. And let's see. Can you read the question from the top of it?
You are saying the topic of long-term health risks of spaceflight is under-discussed. Why do you feel that?
So, yes, I do believe the long-term risks of spaceflight is significantly under-discussed relative to how important they are. Here's why. Public narrative versus reality. NASA PR. So what they're talking about, my prediction for Artemis 2 is the same as what Grok is saying here, is that this topic of the health risks of cancer are going to be under-discussed. This is exactly what I'm going to use Grok's wordage here. So why is it under-discussed? Optimism bias, commercial pressure, national prestige. So these are the reasons why the topic of space radiation is going to be, and the cancer research which has been done is going to be under-discussed. Here's another one. I wish I could move it. Oh, I can move it. Okay. So here's my question. Lol, do you predict the long-term health risks of spaceflight on the Artemis 2 crew will also be under-discussed, or are you hopeful for a new dawn of clarity? Good question, and a sharp one. My honest prediction, yes, the long-term health risks for the Artemis 2 crew will be significantly under-discussed. at least in the public sphere, mainstream media, even though we're more transparent era than before. I'm not very hopeful for a new dawn of clarity. Institutional incentives haven't changed much. NASA, SpaceX, even Grok is admitting that SpaceX probably won't be very clear about this. So now I'm making a joke with Grok. I'm saying, wow, I should put you in a head-to-head with the ChatGTP, because I have ChatGTP on record for telling me that the risks of human health problems from Artemis 2 were essentially zero. And the Grok says, haha, I can see why that would raise an eyebrow for you. Let me be direct and honest with you. ChatGTP is wrong. Saying the health risks of Artemis 2 are essentially zero is not accurate. It's over optimistic PR language, not reality. Okay, so let's come back to something here about here. Starting in the year 2002 to 2003, the key turning point, NASA funded major biodosimetry study, Stockholm. So this is the beginning of NASA's research into cancer treatments, approximately 2003. And then I'm asking Grok, how much money has NASA invested in cancer research ever since 2003? And it's saying from 2003 to 2026, NASA has likely spent $500 to $800 million in cancer research, cancer detection, cancer treatment programs. So now we know how long NASA has been working on cancer treatment programs and how much money they spent in it. Let's look a little bit more at some of the things NASA has been doing regarding cancer treatment. We have radiation-based cancer therapy improvement, major but indirect, and the red line, this is the most precise form of radiation treatment for certain cancers. So NASA is involved. I just want to add as a positive note, I'm actually thankful for NASA for their work they've been doing in cancer treatment, because recently my father just survived cancer thanks to people at NASA who've been developing these kind of cancer treatments. So we have radiation-based cancer treatments, we have microgravity-enabled drug treatment, ISS research, very important, protein crystal growth, targeted angiogenesis therapy, ISS experiments, drugs for tumors. Microgravity allows tissue chip, organ harvest, very promising. 3D interface models, ISS behavior, real humans. Radiation effects of human tissues, immunotherapy, molecular targeting,
5 minutes
research. Gone. Okay. Cancer risks, modeling, prevention. So, and immunotherapy. So I'm asking for more details on the difference between immunotherapy, chemotherapy, and radiation therapy. NASA had a strong contribution to these types of treatments. Okay, so immunotherapy, such as Keytruda and pembrolizumab, okay, and chemotherapy treatments, radiation therapy. Okay, so this is some of the what was the numbers? $500 to $800 million spent on research and cancer treatments. And finally, I guess since my time is running out, let's start with shielding. Artemis shielding, key polymers. Polyethylene is the...
One trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere.
You see them, all these bags. Okay, so let me step back and make this a little bit more clear. What is the primary radiation shielding method used for this Artemis 2 mission? Okay, we have basically, the primary shielding for Artemis 2, how is Artemis 2 dealing with this radiation problem, is they're keeping the tail end of the ship pointed towards the sun at most times. So here it is, primary orientation, tail to sun. Because the primary radiation shielding is the European Space Module. They keep the European Space Module pointed towards the sun. Sometimes they turn around to take a picture of the Earth, but they keep it pointed towards the sun because the primary radiation shielding between them and the sun is the European Space Module. So, so we have
and in those days, Nichols had pictures of bumblebees on them.
Okay, we have the components. So the outer shell of the Orion and the European is most aluminum, but it's a special aluminum alloy with high lithium counts which is something Apollo didn't do because lithium is a smaller molecule and protecting the radiation more. Okay, key polymers. So all of this is stuff that Apollo never did. So you have these key polymers. So you can see when they're floating around, you see all these bags, and sometimes they're hiding up inside on top of the bags and things like that. These bags are the primary radiation shielding because they're made out of polyethylene. Polyethylene is the best radiation protection material. So in case of a solar flare, what they're supposed to do is take all those polyethylene floating bags, shove them down onto the floor in front of the European Space European Space Module and hide behind that shielding. Those bags floating around is the shielding. So in case of a solar flare, they're to put the European Space Module is pointed towards the sun, and they put all the other shielding down on the bottom of the capsule, and they hide behind those shieldings. That's what they were supposed to do in case of a solar flare. So this is polyethylene. They didn't use any boron nitride nanotubes. So coming back to myself, when I started working for the Chinese National Space Agency, which wasn't until 2021, I wrote a couple papers for them, but one of them was on the production of these boron nitride nanotubes, because at that time in 2021 they asked me, what is your prediction for Artemis 2? And I said, I'm predicting they're going to use boron nitride nanotubes for their shielding. But my prediction was wrong. They didn't use any boron nitride nanotubes on the Artemis 2 mission. Instead, they're using these polyethylene bags, and
That's
they have
10 minutes.
They have a lot of water. There's extra water. There's extra fuel and extra water in the European Space Module because the water is the primary shielding. They keep that pointed. So I could go into numbers like more about the weights of the Artemis mission compared to the Apollo missions and how much, But anyhow, my time is up.
Give me 5 P's for a quarter, you'd say.
All right, super. Now we got 5 minutes for Roger to respond.
So, all right, I'm going to share what Rasa said in the past because he seems to have backed off what this debate was about. In the past, Rasa has said that most likely none of them will survive. They will be mostly dead on arrival. So that was back in March 15. You said, yep, most likely none of them will survive. They'll be dead on arrival. And then it's kind of evolved a bit. The Apollo readings were totally bogus. And the readings we can go by include the Artemis 1 missions. And based on these numbers, my prediction that all 4 of them will be mostly dead on arrival. So, and the last thing you just said, you could go through some numbers. That's what we're here for, to go through the numbers. That you said we had the radiation data from Artemis 1, And in fact, we do. So, and we could have gone through that. Instead, you're using Grok to talk about long-term radiation health risks. But here you're talking about acute radiation risks. You said they're going to be dead when they open the capsule, basically. They're going to be mostly dead upon arrival. Yes, of course, NASA is concerned about long-term radiation effects because they're thinking about going to Mars. That's what the long-term effects would be. And I mean, I think it's very sensible that they're doing research in cancer. That doesn't prove that Apollo missions were fake just because they're interested in doing cancer research. Because I think it's probably a bit like the military. Well, the military do a lot of research in, to replace people's limbs and stuff. So that when you're asking someone to go to war and have their limbs blown off, you can say, look, if the worst thing happens, we'll really look after you. And it's probably the similar thing from NASA. Okay, we're going to send you to Mars. You could get cancer, but we can look after you if you do. So think about still doing the job. So that's what I'd say about that. And then you're banging on about what the protection was in the Orion spacecraft, what the shielding was made of. No one cares about what the shielding is made of. If you're the astronaut, you don't care what they've made the shielding from. You just care that the shielding works. And I believe we've got data that shows that shielding works. Your job was to show that shielding wouldn't work from the data, and you didn't even attempt it. So, yeah, it's basically that's my rebuttal to that.
All right.
I'll be also interested for you to see the papers you published in 2021. You've never shown me a single paper that you published.
That would be pretty cool. Are they papers that can be viewed, Rasa?
No, they're just Chinese documents that I handed to them on paper.
Oh, they're not.
Oh, you sent them on paper.
Oh my gosh, Rasa! When you say papers, what? I'm expecting a DOI link. Okay, all right. Roger finished up. So next is a 10-minute discussion between the two of you, and so I'll just put a timer on. I'll let you know at 5 minutes, and then at when we're up with that. So go ahead.
I mean, maybe in this time you could talk about the numbers you're going to talk about. We've got 10 minutes. We can go back and forth on the numbers you said you could go into.
Right. Let me just reply to one thing you said. Yeah, I did change my predictions. And in the later, you didn't show that, but in one of our later communications, my prediction was that there will be a cover-up in the cancer treatments that these Artemis astronauts will have to go through. And that's basically what Grok just agreed with me, but he's using different language.
Grok certainly did not agree with that. And that's a classic conspiratorial method to say, you've now got an unfalsifiable theory. You start off saying that this is going to happen, and then when it doesn't happen, it's some conspiracy to hide it. So it's hilarious that you've done that. That's super funny. Anyway, are you going to go into your numbers that you said you could go into?
Yeah, I suppose I could pull up some. I mean, but this is kind of, I'm going to have to pull up a bunch of more ChatGPT conversations and read through.
No, but you're the expert. You're the expert in this field. Why do you need ChatGPT to do it?
Just to be clear here, I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. I don't really care whether you believe me or not.
Well, I was here to be convinced.
Well, I'm not here to convince you.
Rasa, that is the purpose of a debate. You know that you're trying to convince the audience, not necessarily your interlocutor. The audience is who you're supposed to attempt to sway. That's the point. Mm-hmm. Did you not know that?
Well, I'm just here, to tell my story. Is that I was told by the Chinese National Space Agency that
give me
NASA
5 P's for a quarter.
About the Apollo missions in the future after Artemis 3. So I don't expect them to come clean about Apollo missions after Artemis 2.
No, where were we? Oh,
but
yeah.
If they don't come clean after Artemis 3, we're going to have some serious problems to look at.
Oh, this is a new prediction? You're going to,
no,
or is that going to change? Is there going to be a conspiracy to hide that conspiracy?
No, this is the same thing.
I guess.
This is the same thing I've been saying since 2019. In 2019 was the first time I decided to come out and admit to whistleblow, to reveal classified information which I was told not to tell. And in 2019 I just said, okay, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to come out on YouTube. I did my first interview, and I said very clearly, the original agreement was that NASA would come clean about the Apollo missions after landing a man on the moon for real. So that's probably going to be Artemis 3.
Yeah, source, trust me, bro. Yeah. So do you have a figure on how long it would take someone to die in the Orion capsule?
Well, that depends, of course, on the shielding. And...
on the shielding that's in the Orion capsule. We know what shielding is in the Orion capsule because they built it. So how long would it take to die in the Orion capsule?
Right. So the death depends on which organs get affected. So when you're out in the deep space beyond the belts, then cosmic rays will be passing through your body, through your DNA.
The cosmic rays are not an issue in the Van Allen radiation belts. They're not the main thing you're worried about.
Who said anything about the Van Allen radiation? I'm just talking about deep space.
Well, we're talking about going to the moon, so we're not talking about deep space. We're talking about the Van Allen radiation belts because that's what the topic of this debate was. It's a travel through the moon, and the most dangerous part of the journey is going through the inner radiation belts of the Van Allen belts, and that's what people say it stops the Apollo missions from being real.
Right. Well, that's not what I ever said. I never said that the Van Allen belts is what stopped them. I never said that. The Van Allen belts is part of the problem. The problem is the deep space radiation.
They're not in deep space.
Anytime you go beyond the Van Allen belts, you're in deep space.
The worst radiation is in the Van Allen belts.
Yeah, but that's just part of the problem.
That's the critical point.
The critical point is the duration. How long you spend in the belts, how long do you spend
Exactly, that's what I want to know. How long would it take to kill someone in the radiation belts?
In the belt, like if you orbit...
5 minutes down. Keep 5 more to go.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny question. I mean...
It's not a funny question, it's the critical question to the whole fucking scenario. You can beep that out later.
So your question is, if they were to send a ship that was going to linger inside the inner belts,
yes,
how long would that take to kill them?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. So I don't know. It depends on which organs get hit.
We know which organ gets hit because we've got human beings.
Right. Some organs in the human body are more sensitive than others.
Every human has the same organ, so it's not about, if the guy goes up with no kidneys, he's not going to die because he has no kidneys. So it doesn't depend on what organs are being hit. They're all being hit.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. So how long would it take to die? I don't know.
You're the expert on space radiation. You said you're the expert on space radiation. You have degrees in astrophysics and quantum mechanics. You're the leading quantum mechanicist in China and an expert on space radiation. You don't know the answer to the question. You advise the Chinese Space Agency on space radiation, and you can't even do that calculation. It's good I'm going to be able to do it for you later on, but I thought you might have some idea. Oh, boy.
So I never said I was the leading quantum physicist, and so
okay. We'll play that clip later, perhaps. But anyway, yeah.
Okay.
You definitely did. That's hilarious.
No. Maybe I might have said something like a slip like that, but I was
slip of the tongue.
But it's not space radiation. What it is this: I was hired by the Department of Energy for the field of theoretical physics. I'm a theoretical physicist. I'm not an expert in space radiation. I'm an expert.
You said you're on the record saying you work in space radiation.
It doesn't matter what I'm on the record saying. What I'm telling you is that I am.
I think it does matter. What you're saying is you're a liar. It doesn't matter what you said. You're a liar. Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter anything I'm going to say. You're not going to believe anyway. So it doesn't matter what I say.
No, well, you're contradicting yourself. So I believe what you say until you contradict yourself, and now I don't know what you're saying.
Well, you're not.
Do you work in space radiation or not?
No, definitely not.
Okay. Definitely not. Okay.
I work for the Department of Energy from 2015 to 2019. I was working for the Department of Energy in the field of theoretical physics and what we call quantum over unity devices. Okay, such as the tokamak and other kind of new energy devices. Now, regarding the Chinese space agency, I wrote a couple papers for them in the year 2021, and those papers were about the radiation problems and the protection, radiation shielding that was being proposed by NASA at the time.
So I tied an onion to my belt.
What the answer to my question
Which was the
is,
style
if
at
you
the
wrote
time.
a paper on that, I think you're lying about that, because if you had written the paper on that, you would know the answer to the question I asked, how long it would take to die in the shielding of Orion.
Why? That's just
Because you said you wrote the paper to the Chinese National Space Agency. They want to know that. Chinese people don't want to die when they go to the moon. They've got the same organs as Americans, so their radiation, they die of radiation the same rate that an American or a Canadian will die at.
Right, but my paper wasn't about the time of death. My paper was about radiation shielding techniques and cancer treatments proposed.
So, are you a cancer expert as well?
Well, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, so regarding
so you're a cancer expert, right?
No, so my work for the Chinese National Space Agency was basically just a translator. They asked me to search through NASA documents. They asked me to search through NASA documents. What is the radiation shielding methods? What are the cancer treatment methods? And I did my research, and I just translated that to Chinese, and I gave them the papers.
Right. So now the truth comes out. You're not an expert on anything. You're just a translator. Okay. But that explains a lot. Yeah. Anyway, I guess, yeah. Anything else you want to talk about here at this moment?
No, I've answered your questions, I think, if you have any more.
We can call that, I guess, MCToon.
All right. Well, there was 2 minutes left in that section, but we're good. So the next is we got some questions from the audience, just to sprinkle in here if we can here. So let's see. People are excited because we got the rocket landing coming. So Tori Hanzo says, "Whoop! Rocket landing, bippity boop." Conspiracy Music Studio says, "What Tori says, but with more months." I don't know what more months. Oh, because these are member super chats is what these are. So very nice. The Gay Fruit Basket for $5 says, "I thought this was about radiation. Why is he talking about Long March?" It's a good question. It was a little bit of a roundabout way to get to introducing yourself. Did you even say what your name was? Did you feel like, Rasa, did you even say, "You can call me Rasa"?
Yeah, you can call me Rasa.
Okay, what?
Or Doctor Rasa Vihari if you want.
I'm not calling you doctor because it's not a proper doctor. All right. Nugs Automation says, "Make him stop rambling every single time." In our email exchange, you said that Jara has a tendency to ramble, and I'm like, dude, you ramble. I can't see that, Roger. That didn't show up. Oh, you're talking. Hold on. You muted yourself. Okay. Anyway, 3 rounds says, "To reach a lethal dose, you need to spend a week in the worst part of the Van Halen belt. Now let's see how much this dork lies about it." Oh, here we go. There it is. Roger has a doctorate of philosophy in what? Hold up. Plant molecular biology. All right. I take it that's from an accredited university. The Australian National University. There you go. All right. Conspiracy.
So, yeah, just if Russ is going to name drop Doctor, I thought I'd just
there we go.
drop mine as well. I'm going to be called PhD Roger from now on, like PhD Tony. But yeah. Sorry, do go on.
Fishy Fish is wondering, is this debate live or recorded? This is live. We got Conspiracy Music Studio says, damn, NASA and their schedule. I have to watch this tomorrow. Thanks for the paychecks, Master Toon. I would not be the NASA shill I am without you. Spoiler, Rasa has never even been to China. Don't tell anyone. It's a secret. Okay, I won't tell anyone that Rasa's never been to China. Rasa, can you prove him wrong by saying something in Chinese? I don't know if that would prove anything, but
I can confirm that Rasa does live in China. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't doubt that you live in China. I'm pretty sure that was meant as a joke. I see spins for $2 says Rasa, yo bro, what you doing? Bro, Lego move. There you go. All right, Jack Better says, many of you may be unaware that I am the leading rocket scientist in Eastern Slobovia. Also, I lost my virginity in 1984 in full disclosure. Thank you, Jack Fetter. We all wanted to know. Jack Fetter says, I'm losing the will to go on. And then Icy Spin says, grok, yeah, ing, yeah, bird, ing, yeah. Jack Fetter says, ChatGPT told me grok is a little bitch. And Rasa, it's ChatGPT. You got the P and T swapped. Is that
dyslexia?
Okay. Truth Nerd says hard to say who's hallucinating more, grok or Rasa. Icy Spin says, dude, if you use grok, give it time constraints. There you go. Give it time constraints. Kangle44 says the most important thing is I had an onion on my belt. Did you know that? Jack Fetter had a buffer overflow. Jack Fetter then just says, it just may be me, but I feel Chinese would have a few million more qualified folks handy. Jack Fetter picked to the wrong day to quit sniffing glue. Tib Davidson says there's nothing worse than getting a Cranberry song stuck in your head. Zombie. I'm not going to sing it. I don't want that song. That song never leaves your head. If one in the chat, if that song's ever been stuck in your head, and I prefer the more upbeat version that somebody remixed it. I like that one, but
it's better than the Linger song.
Oh my gosh, don't say that. You don't even say that word. I write email filtering software, and one thing that we did years ago was we had to deal with how long sockets stayed open because the other side would have bad hold on, you're prepping your stuff. They would have poorly written MTAs, and they would open a connection, and then they would just leave the socket open, and we're like, hold on, we got to mess with the linger. We can't leave the linger at 10 minutes. So, yeah, all right. Inquisitive Infidel says Rasa seems like an AI indirect interface. Are you? Yes. Okay. Jack Fetter says last Chinese guy I talked to said no substitutions. Keyboard Monkey says Van Allen himself said it would take a week for a lethal dose. Jack Better says zoinks, Scoob. Now, did you move to China just so that people don't compare you to Scooby or to Shaggy? No? Aw. Did you ever get it?
No, never. That's the first time I've heard it.
Are you serial? Every time I've debated you, I'm like, this guy's Shaggy. That's every time. All right. Mr. C. Egypt. Mr. Seejit says Rasa is fuller of poop than a sewage treatment plant. Real Arnold says this guy is as much a doctor as I am a real life cartoon of a 65-year-old European meme guy who hides his pain and has actual spirals for eyes. All right, we just got a few more. Deplorable Ilk says, was Rasa full of it when claiming to work in space radiation, or is he full of it now? It's a good question, because Roger did put on screen your claim that you work in space radiation. It may come up again later, but is that something that you, when you said it was a lie, or now it's a lie?
No, it's kind of a vague thing. I mean, I translated 2 documents about space radiation, about radiation protection, and about cancer treatment methods. Whether you want to say that's working in the field of radiation or not is up to you.
That nobody would say that. Nobody at all.
That's what you said. So you said that. So yeah.
Well, that's what I meant when I said it. Is that?
Well, I know you didn't. You just tried to you got this fantasy that you're working in something you're not. You might translate some documents, mean you doesn't mean you know anything about them. Obviously.
Yeah, nobody thinks that, Rasa. I don't know why you think that, but just because you translate something doesn't make you an expert in that field or make you work in that field. Okay. Kango44 says, is this Rasa guy just totally deluded? Does he imagine he works for the Chinese Department of Energy? Can he give the correct name in Mandarin of the department he works in?
So I was working for the Department of Energy from 2015 to 2019 when I quit. So I haven't.
What's that agency called?
But I'm not fully done with them because I'm planning a return.
What's the name of the agency in Mandarin?
I'm not here to prove anything to you, so you can ask whatever questions and I can choose to answer them or not.
That was a question from the chat. I think that was a someone paid to get that answer and you didn't answer.
I can say ni hao. I'm not scared to let people know all of the Chinese I know. I can count. I ir san sa u. How's that?
Your pronunciation's pretty bad.
I know. All right. Let's see. Rossi says you can call me Rossi. See, he introduced himself. Kango44 says, or Cantonese. Thanks, chat. Yeah, are you more fluent in Cantonese or Mandarin?
Mandarin, not Cantonese.
So that's my favorite kind of oranges as well. Keyboard Monkey says, according to ChatGPT, apparently an X-ray machine is more lethal than the Van Halen belts.
You might as well jump.
All right. We're going to move on to... we got more coming, but we're going to move on to Roger's part here. So Roger, you got 10 minutes to do your presentation. And as soon as you start, I'll start the timer and I'll put your stuff on screen right now. There you go. Go ahead.
Right. So I was kind of disappointed that Rasa didn't come up with a number on how long it would take to die. He seemed like he didn't even think that was a useful question to answer. The good news is we actually have data published in this paper. You can see that, okay, guys? Space radiation measurements during the Artemis 1 lunar mission. It's an open access article, which means you don't need a subscription to view it. And it was published in Nature in October 2024 by all these wonderful people. So Nature, of course, is probably the most prestigious science journal in the world. And so it's and Nature has a fairly short paper that most of their data is kind of in supplementary materials. But this paragraph here is all we need to really read to figure out what the answer to the question is about how long it would take to die in the Orion capsule. So it says, Measurement of the inner proton belt shows up to 4-fold difference in the dose rate between the most, and then this bit in brackets, and the 2 least shielded locations, and then this bit in brackets here. So what they're talking about here is the fact that on the Artemis 1 mission, which is a robotic mission, NASA was measuring the amount of radiation in different spots in the Orion spacecraft. And in the most shielded location, which they gave this code number, it's not really relevant what that number is, but the amount of radiation they got at that location was 69 micrograys per minute. And in the least shielded location, they had either 240 micrograys per minute or 287 micrograys per minute. Now, obviously, when you're traveling through traveling on the way to the moon and you're going through the Van Allen radiation belts, you're going to get into the most shielded location you have in the spacecraft. And so if you got into that most shielded location, then you'd expect to be exposed to 69 micrograys of radiation per minute. And so the critical question comes down to how long does it take to die if you're exposed to 69 micrograys of radiation per minute? And it's not actually too difficult to get a good estimate of how long that might take because, to do that, you just need to know what a grey is and you need to know what a lethal dose of radiation is. So I'm just going to share. I've got a small slide pack just goes discussing a little bit on that, but where is that gone? Slideshow. Why is that not appearing as a share anymore? Huh. Damn it. Did the share stop? Yeah.
The share did stop.
Well, let's close that and open it again.
And the UFO people are going to go nuts that these grays are so micro. They're like, they're not that micro. The grays are big, aren't they?
Yes, the grey. Yes. Yeah. Dear. Office.
I'll pause your timer for a minute here.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's all right. We want freedom units, REM.
You want in REMs?
No, yeah. No need.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, look at this. PhD Tony says the ANU Ultimate Frisbee Club was called a nude. ANU Disc Enthusiasts. I love that. It is. We are in full swing in Ultimate Frisbee season right now. I went to a game last night.
All right. Shit. Oh no, I've frozen.
Uh-oh. Hey, Rasa, are you pretty tall? You seem pretty tall. 6'2".
6, around 6.
6 even. Okay, so you're significantly taller than a lot of the people there in China. So are you on the Ultimate Frisbee team? Because you'd be pretty good.
I don't.
All right, you ready to continue?
I never even seen them play Frisbee here.
Oh my goodness, you'd be amazing. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So back where we were. So the units that radiation level dose was measured in on the Orion 1 spacecraft was the grey, and so we're doing science. So we're going to use SI units, none of these sheep units. So the grey is the SI unit of absorbed dose, and I'm sure as Rasa knows, a grey is 1 joule of radiation energy deposited per kilogram of matter. The other radiation unit we need to know about is the sievert, and that is the SI unit of effective dose. So the grey is the SI unit of absorbed dose, and then there's this thing called effective dose, and the sievert is the unit for that. And this unit basically takes account of the fact that different types of radiation have different effects on the human body. So you need to take account of the fact that maybe you're being hit by protons versus beta particles. And to take account of that, we use a radiation weighting factor to account for the different types of radiation. So when we're going through the inner radiation belt, the inner Van Allen belt, we need to know what the dominant form of particles in there. And it turns out that section of the Van Allen belts. The inner belts are proton dominated, so they're proton particles. So we need to know what the radiation weighting factor for protons is, and you can look it up on the internet. Nuclearpower.com tells me that the factor for protons is 2. So we need to convert our absorbed dose in grey, which is what was in that paper, to the effective dose in sieverts, because sieverts is what people publish about, how much radiation kills you, because it takes account of the different types of radiation. So at the best shielded location, the dose rate was 69 micrograys. To convert that to sieverts, you just multiply it by the radiation weighting factor, and you end up with 138 microsieverts per minute as the dose rate that the astronauts are getting. It's in the best shielded part of the Orion spacecraft, which is where you would be when you're traveling through the Van Allen belts. So the question becomes, how long does that take to kill you when you're getting 138 microsieverts per minute? So the question is, how many sieverts kills you? Well, you can look this up on Google. The source, when I ran that search, the sources said 1 sievert causes acute radiation sickness, so it makes you pretty ill. And it's 4 to 5 sieverts is the lethal dose. It's kind of the LD50 for humans. 50% of people will die within 60 days if you get 4 to 5 sieverts. I think we'll just go with the 1 sievert thing, because you don't want your astronauts getting acute radiation sickness. That would be bad. So you want to have the exposure less than 1 sievert, and so you need to figure out how long does it take to get 1 sievert of dosage at 138 microsieverts per minute. And it's a pretty simple calculation. Just 1 sievert divided by the rate, that's 138 microsieverts per minute. Make sure you use all your units so you end up with the correct units at the end. Those sieverts cancel out, and you end up with an answer of 7,246 minutes. That's how long it would take to get 1 sievert of radiation if you're parked in the Van Allen belts and you're in the most shielded part of the Orion capsule. That works out to be 120 hours, which is 5 days. And so that's your answer. Orion was in the inner belts for 30 minutes on the way out, and it's probably in there on the same amount on the way back, more or less. So they're in there for about an hour, and it takes 5 days to give you acute radiation sickness. So they're safe by a factor of about 120-fold. So the answer to the question is no. The data from Orion, which Rasa said, oh, no, that data would prove that you couldn't go through the radiation belts. He made that claim. He never did anything to try and prove the claim. So I'm still left with this situation where no one's ever been able to show me how the radiation belts were impassable. And the data from the actual spacecraft, collecting the actual data, doing a measurement like scientists do, show that, yeah, they're safe by 120-fold. Case closed.
All right. Is that it?
That's it.
Awesome. All right. Rasa gets 5 minutes uninterrupted, and then we'll follow that with 10 minutes back and forth. So go ahead, Rasa.
Thanks. I'm going to screen share. Just to be clear, I never said that the belts was the primary obstacle. That's something like a, I don't know, flat earther would say or something.
People do confuse you for that at times.
I'm going to try to pull up a share screen real quick.
All right. It's ready for you.
Just a sec. Okay.
GPT. Just practice it. GPT.
GTP.
Nope.
GPT. Oh.
There you
Got it. Wow.
Seriously.
Oh my god. Where did the...
All right. I haven't started your timer yet.
Okay. I'm sharing screen.
Okay.
Hopefully this will...
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. So hopefully this will help answer my view on things. Apollo astronauts received around 0.36 to 0.38 rads. Entire mission duration, approximately 8 days. So here's my question. What is the difference of trajectory between Artemis 1 mission and the Apollo missions, which can account for the huge discrepancy between the 0.38 to 0.36 to 0.38 rads for the Apollo mission and the 18 rads for the Apollo 1 mission? That's a huge discrepancy.
Artemis 1.
Yeah, between Artemis 1 and Apollo. What it means is that during the Apollo missions, they just pulled a number out of their ass, and it was this 0.36, and they terribly underestimated what the real radiation would be. Now, we're starting to see some real radiation numbers, and this isn't the first time. We had some real radiation numbers on the Curiosity mission, and we had some real numbers on the Chang'e 4 mission. But here's some Artemis 1s, and 18 rads for the mission. Wow, that's like, compared to 0.36, something went wrong in the Apollo era. So anyhow, it's all just lie after lie from there. The Apollo spacecraft stayed within the lower radiation, blah, blah, blah. What was the exact duration of time belts? Apollo missions compared to Artemis. Oh, Artemis was supposed to spend. Let me also just say that Artemis 2 did alter their trajectory. I can prove that if you're interested. But the original plan for Artemis 2 was 4 passes through the belt. One up, one down, and then one for the TLI to the moon, and then the 4th time back in. But they altered their mission, and now there was only 2 passes through the belt. And I can prove that if you're interested. So let's come back here with more of my question. So if we take Apollo 17's time in the belts, 40 to 45 minutes, as the shallowest, the radiation readings of 0.33 rads, and Apollo 14 times the belt, 60 to 65 minutes, as the deepest, radiation of 1.14 to 1.21 rads, that is a 3 times increase in radiation. How does this compare with Artemis 1 spending 6 to 8 hours in the belts and receiving 18 rads? Okay, that's a good question. Time in the belts does not scale linearly. You know, it's like they're trying to say that these numbers going from 1 rad to 18 rads is somehow like comparable. No, it's not even at all comparable. So ChatGPT is just lying here. And, you know, so we have these real, you know, we got this real number. We've got this 18 rads from Artemis 1. And that in itself proves that Apollo numbers are just numbers they pulled out of their ass. Because if Apollo really would have gone to the moon, the numbers would be more realistic.
That it?
Yep.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, we got 10 minutes back and forth. Go ahead.
So, where did you get this 18 rads from Artemis 1? Because, how many, what's a grey in rads?
The data just comes from ChatGPT.
And so you're just taking what it says on there, because I'll ask again, how many grey, or how many rads in a grey? Because we should be really working in SI units. So how many rads in a grey? So we can look at the data that I got in the paper that we actually see, not from ChatGPT that could be made up bullshit because it hallucinates. We've got the actual data in the paper. So we can convert from grey to rads.
Right. So I'm not really here to convince you of anything, but, you know...
That's what you always say when you don't know the answer. Okay, the answer is 1 grey equals 100 rads. So we've got micro greys in the belts. So you said there's 18 rads. So that's 18 divided by 100. That's 0.18 grey. So that's I think that's 180 milligray. But we were talking, we figured that the data and the thing said it's 130 microgray. So ChatGPT is just it's lying to you, mate. It's not Apollo. It's not Apollo. It's ChatGPT's made up some bullshit.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Well, then I'll confirm with Grok then whether those numbers.
No, do the maths yourself. Go to the actual paper, the data, because you said we're getting the data out of the paper. We've got the paper from Nature. They published the data. They actually collected the data inside the spacecraft. The very same spacecraft they got people going into. That's why the people got into it. They flew it out there and they measured the radiation because it's a brand new spacecraft. Of course, Apollo flew and scientists knew sort of more or less how to build shielding, but not in that exact spacecraft. I wouldn't have got in that spacecraft until it had flown around once and said, "Yeah, we did get it right. Our calculations and our the way we built it ended up being good." That's where we got the data from. So yeah.
I don't know why ChatGPT came up with those numbers. They,
You're saying it's set 18 rads.
Maybe. But that's on the entire mission, It's not like all the time in the belt.
Well, I mean, I think
blah, blah, blah.
this paper will have the amount of radiation for the entire mission as well. So I don't think it gets anywhere near 18 rads.
Okay, if you can show me some better numbers, that would be cool.
Well, I mean, I thought you were working not off ChatGPT. I thought you were the expert again. Anyway. I mean, I don't have time right now to go searching through the paper to find it out. But yeah, if we're talking about milligray versus what your claim is 0.1 or 180 milligray versus 69 microgray, you're out by a very large amount.
I'll be sure to bring that up with ChatGPT if I ever talk to them again.
Them?
You're an expert. So anyway, where did I go wrong in my calculation? I thought you might be able to point out, I made a mistake. Because it's just fairly simple maths, though.
Your calculation about
I guess
what?
It does have negative exponents and stuff, so it might be a bit tricky for someone of your capacity. But I thought you might be able to offer some criticism. Maybe the chat can tell me where I went wrong. Got some math geniuses in the chat.
All right.
All right, I'll take that as a concession. Yep.
Okay.
No rebuttal.
Just for people at home, using an LLM like Grok or ChatGPT is not a valid source of information. You might want to use it to help you search for something. You might say, "Hey, Grok or ChatGPT, find the paper that talks about this," and then it may give you a non-hallucinated link to that paper, and then you go read that paper yourself. But never take data straight from an LLM if you're expecting, if it's an important thing. Like if you're gonna be in a debate, go get this. You can't cite an LLM ever as your source of data. Oh,
anyway, I can see actually in the paper a graph about the
can you share
cumulative dose. Yep, I'll share that. I'll share my screen again. So
this is that same paper, space radiation measurements during the Artemis 1 lunar mission. Okay.
Yeah. And so cumulative dose, and the different color graphs here, the most shielded location, the least shielded location. So if you weren't in the shielding at all, you'd get 3 milligray total over the entire trip. So 3 milligray, let's convert that to rads.
That's the whole trip, not just through the Van Halen belts?
That's right.
Okay.
Not just through the Van Halen belts. Yeah, because this is the cumulative dose. Well, perhaps that is just on the way. Yeah, perhaps that one there. Oh, yeah, here we go. Cumulative dose. So that's just that section D there is only on the way out there. So I think over here is the entire trip because it goes for days. So, yep. So 10 milligray. 10 milligray and 1 grey equals 100 rads. So I'm not a math, can't do maths in my head. I always get a calculator to do it. 10 divided by 1,000. I should be able to do that in my head, times 100. That's 1 rad. That's not 18 rads. That was my rough calculation. That was in the unshielded part. Oh, no, I guess in the best shielded part, you got 10 over the entire thing. Yeah. 1 rad, not 18. And how dangerous is 1 rad? Not sure.
Not sure. Okay.
I could figure that out as well, yeah.
Zoomicide says, all I want is a pinata that says, harder daddy when you hit it. Oh my gosh. Super Ray. Zoomicide, you goof. All right. Well, keep going. I'm seriously, Rasa, how have you never had somebody ask if you're Shaggy? Like, if they do a movie again, you need to say, hey, bring me. Or if they're in China, they're like, we're going to film a Chinese version of Scooby-Doo. You'd be like, yo, I got my own Scooby snacks even. Can you give us a good zoinks? How about that?
Zoinks.
Oh, you can do better. Here, I'll try. Zoinks? Like that.
That's the Scooby version.
That's the Scooby version. All right. All right. Are we done with the 10-minute back and forth? It's kind of trailed off to nothing here. All right.
I reckon 1 rad is 5 times is 1/5 of the dose needed to cause acute radiation sickness. So yeah.
All right.
But I'm not a space radiation expert.
Yeah, I mean, I would ask the space radiation expert if I were me. if I
did do
were
some radiation.
Me,
yeah. Back 25 years ago when I did that PhD, that's when I was doing some stuff on radiation because I had in a lab where we use phosphorus 32 that is a beta emitter, so I had to do some courses on it. But that's a long time ago. But yeah. I can still I can divide one number by another and put the units in, and magically the right answer comes out. So,
there you go.
In the right units. I learned that in school.
I always say dimensional analysis is the cheat code to physics. So, all right. Yeah. Well, that's 10 minutes. We were 20 seconds shy of it. So it's 6:19 now. And let's see if we can hear what Artemis has to say in here.
Be resumed for all of the future missions coming back from the south pole of the moon when we initiate lunar landings.
All right. Well, they're not saying much interesting yet. They're not yet splashing down. So okay, we got some messages here. We got Real Harnold says it's pronounced ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Brian Pop Robson says, so when NASA doesn't admit to faking the moon landings, as you have said you have been supposedly told, will you pay me the £10,000 you owe me?
Oh, Russ's got a bet going, does he? Wow.
Did I make a bet? I never made any bets with anybody.
You never
Rasa
did.
Likes to repudiate what he says.
But Rasa, you can't remember the email that you sent to Roger recently about being a space radiation expert. You remember? It's too many Scooby snacks, Rasa. Lay off the Scooby snacks. Icy Spin says, if astronauts live, what Rasa? He has said that they will now, right?
Yeah, most likely they'll live. I think.
Most likely.
But what he is saying that they're going to be treated for cancer and NASA's going to hush it up. That's what he's moved to now.
Right.
It evolves over time as things change. You won't stick to anything, and it's a completely undefeatable conspiracy theory because they're gonna cover up the treatment for this cancer.
Right. Anyway, you'll see I'm right in the future after Artemis.
Yeah,
3.
you keep saying that. You've been wrong so far, mate.
Not worried. I'm not worried.
All right, we got Evil Producer 1 says, I missed the debate. Let's crap on Bart Cybrell for a bit, and then gives a URL. Let me grab that. Bart Cybrell. What a turd.
Cybrell.
Is this the time to ask that question?
I don't care. He's only good for one thing, being on the receiving end of Buzz's fist.
I watch that again and again. I watch it every day.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a delight.
I'll get that one up here, Evil Producer 1, maybe in the after show. Brenda creates says, does Dr. Rasa have a humiliation fetish? I don't want to kink shame. I don't think we're going to get an answer out of that one. Rossi says, let's get this here. Rossi says this here. I'm going to paste it because you probably can't see it. Rasa, can you have a look at the Zoom chat? I don't know what that is. Can you read that? My Chinese is not good. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, I saw it.
What's it say?
I think it says, well, Xiaomi. I think it means I'm laughing at you or something.
Oh. Well, let's see. Google Translate, which apparently is just as good as the citation as anything else, says this.
我向你放屁.
How's that?
Yeah.
It says I fart at you.
I farted at you. Okay. That's kind of crude. We don't usually. That's kind of an English translated to. It wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't be an insult in China. That wouldn't make any sense to any.
Well,
Chinese
how would you
person.
say I fart at you in Chinese?
You wouldn't say that. You would if you wanted to insult somebody, you would say it a different way.
Yeah, but you I fart in your general direction. You've seen that movie, so if you wanted to take that movie and make it Chinese Mandarin, how would you say that?
Well, I can try to find if that movie's been translated already. It probably has been.
You should do it yourself. All right. People
Shawnee, that's a good translation. The Chinese is correct, but you wouldn't say that in China. It wouldn't make any sense to a Chinese person.
All right. Deplorable Ilk says, so Rasa is to physics what Wadger is to chefing. I would say so. Give me a 1 in the chat if you agree on that one. And we got Itzy Spin says, Rasa is to science what Vlad Daddy is to Poon Poon. Oh my gosh. Oh, Kago44 says, Rasa in China, what is the NEA? What street is it on? Who is the director? I don't know anything about this. The NEA.
National what? I don't know.
Energy? Is E for energy? Administration? National Energy Administration? I know somebody that says he used to work for the NEA.
Right, they wouldn't. I wasn't working in that building, I was working for a private company that was associated with that.
Oh, okay. So the story got a little fluid there. Okay. Fireball Echo says, no, 18 rads or 0.18 gray is not considered lethal and is unlikely to cause immediate symptoms of radiation sickness. Now, I don't know anything about this topic, so Fireball maybe has a little more depth than I do, or Rasa. Kango44 says, Rasa, aren't you supposed to know some of this stuff? Why are you using Grok and GPT?
Like this subject is not really so important to me. I'm working on other areas, I mostly just do this for fun.
But you did claim to be an expert. Would you say you're very, very expert?
I wrote papers for the Department of Energy about theoretical physics.
You translated
quantum over
papers.
unity.
You translated
Right.
papers. You didn't write them.
Right. Well, I mean, there's some of it. It's my own writing. I'm not just simply copy pasting. I'm writing things.
Writing would be you are the source of the paper. You're the one that did the research, or you're the one that was in charge of it. Translating, nobody would say write. Nobody would say, "Oh, I wrote this paper," when all they did was translate. That's a very different thing.
Right. I'm not translating. So I'm taking articles and then summarizing how they fit together in a bigger picture. So that is writing. It's not just simply translating.
That's a review paper, I guess. You're saying you've done some reviews, but you haven't published them.
Right. Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Slithery says, in what direction is the pointy end pointing? I think he's joking about stuff there. Very nice. Zoomy with the pinata one. Inquisitive Infidel says, AI like an 8-year-old with Google. It might get the answer, never just trust what it spits out, and never give it cookies when it asks for them. So if you don't know, people, if you an AI, these LLMs, they predict the next word. That's what they initially were. So if you say, it's raining cats and, right, and then it'll guess at the next word, and literally guessing is what it does, and it will give a weight to different words that might be the next word. So might the next word be photosynthesis? Low value. Might the next word be elephant? Higher value. Might the next word be wolves? Even higher value. Might the next word be dogs? Very high value, and that's the one that'll win. That's the one it'll probably say. It's predicting the next thing based on the previous input. So if you go to one of these LLMs and you feed it information that is leading information about where you're wanting it to go, it will sometimes just give you that answer. If instead you say, I want to find information on this, give me the citations, that's a whole different way to do things. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just asked Grok why ChatGPT came up with this 18 rads number, and Grok said it was a miscalculation. And
the right thing to do
conversion
for everybody, the right thing to do is to ask one of them, give me the citation, give me the source, give me the background research on it, and then you go read it yourself. That's how you use it.
When you were doing the research for China's National Space Agency or the energy people, did you use ChatGPT and just paste in what it said, or did you actually look at the papers?
No, those days I didn't start using this ChatGPT Grok until the last few months. In the past.
Why'd you stop doing it? Why'd you stop doing it the proper way then?
Because I'm not really so interested in this subject. I'm busy with other things now.
You do Tesla research, right?
Do I do what?
Tesla research.
Yeah, Tesla.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What is Tesla research?
Tesla research is, okay, in this particular sense, we can call it wireless transmission is one of the areas that I would say.
Radios?
No.
That's what wireless transmission is. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
there's
wireless transmission is photons. Now, but Tesla was researching how to wirelessly send electrons.
Right. So there's a theory called the scalar waves.
Thoroughly debunked.
So, we don't use these words, but there are definitely some unexplained phenomenon which haven't been researched yet and hopefully will be in the future.
And who do you do that research with?
myself right now, but in the future, this will be presented back to the Department of Energy.
Wow.
So, Rasa, a question. How do you, like when you use ChatGPT, how do you access it?
With the VPN.
Okay. Why don't you use like DeepSeek or something? DeepSeek.
Well, I like to hear what the enemy has to say.
The enemy. Oh, okay. For people, people are wondering what's a scalar? Scalar radio, whatever. It's something that
it's a theory.
People that don't understand the physics of radio waves think is an interesting thing. Basically, they drive a radio transmitter both ways simultaneously. Essentially, you can't measure any actual transmission from it. So scalar is purely trust me, bro, something's happening. But we don't know what's happening. We can't measure that it's happening. We can't identify any effects that are of anything's happening, but definitely something's happening.
You can measure the effects.
No.
Well, you'll see.
You'll see. Trust me, bro. Okay. Corrections 101 is a new member at Newton. Thank you for that. Now we're getting close to Splashdown. Looks like they actually have the. I was wondering if they're going to not show the capsule, but they still are showing the capsule. And we are about little more than half an hour away from Splashdown. So, Pedro Sigwald says Flurfs are good at using AI as they are at using P1000s to film stars, aren't they? Yes, Flurfs are. Now, to be fair, Rasa's not a flat Earth Flurf. He's a Apollo moon landing Flurf. Deplorable Ilk says, so Artemis 1 rad and Apollo 14 was 1.14 rad. Sounds right to me. There we go. Tib Davis says, can I please have that guy say Foster's is Australian for beer?
Foster's is not sold in Australia.
Is it really not? I had no idea. I'm not a beer drinker, so. Oh, this is good. Ask Google AI, what was Kevin Bacon's first line in his first film? I'll ask that. All right, Gemini. Here we go. It says, it's coming. Pinpointing debut details. It's thinking hard. Holy cow. And at the bottom it says Gemini is AI and can make mistakes. Oh, there's separation. Okay. Says Icy Spin.
The raise burn, a 19-second firing of Integrity's thrusters.
GPS 2.
Integrity copies. Good GPS 2.
All right. Kevin Bacon's made his
Coming up on the 2-minute mark until the raise burn. Again, this is the final tweaking of the orientation of Integrity to put it in the right angle, if you will, the angle of attack that it will fly in during its entrance into the Earth's atmosphere. Entry interface now just 18 minutes, 25 seconds away.
All right. Says Animal House was the first movie.
A visualization, but driven by real-time telemetry. This is the maneuvering of Integrity to the raise burn orientation. Just 2,800 miles from Earth.
Wow.
It's a real critical part. If they get that angle wrong.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
Houston, we got a great view of the European service module out the window with the sun hitting the side and the solar rays, and the NASA worm right there. It's a beautiful looking machine.
The NASA worm is this logo here. This is the NASA worm logo. How are you? How are you? Is apparently the answer from Google's AI or Gemini.
And we have completed the maneuver to the raise burn orientation. 1 minute away from the raise burn.
All right. Kango44 says, Rasa, the NEA is the National Energy Administration. You did not know, so it's unlikely you worked for them.
They would use the Chinese name here, so I'm not familiar with those English.
But I translated it for you.
I wasn't working for them directly, so I've never.
We asked you to say the name in Mandarin, and you refused to. You said, "I'm not here to convince anyone." That which is your go-to when you don't know the answer.
Well, I don't.
So what's the name
name? I forget the Chinese name. You know, like the CNSA. I forget the Chinese name for it. I'm not that good in Chinese.
You forget the Chinese name for the organization that you were a contractor for?
Yeah, like I said, my Chinese isn't that good.
I believe you.
It's pretty good, but it's not like I don't spend time memorizing long Chinese names.
You translated as a contractor for the Chinese Space Agency, but your Chinese sucks.
Crew module raise burn is underway. 19-second firing of the thrusters. And we have a completion of the burn.
All right.
That's the face of a man that's been busted. He just laughs.
Yeah. Icy Spin says, Rasa, why do you use a dog whistle?
Integrity. Good. CM raise burn. Your flight path angle is within limits.
Why do you use a dog whistle? Stop, get help.
Integrity copies. Looks good on board, Jackie.
So the final maneuver is now complete. Our trajectory for a splashdown in the Pacific 29 minutes from now is set and will not be amended any further. And we have the right angle of attack to mitigate any excessive heat loads on the vehicle during entry interface.
Integrity Houston, a heads up about comm coverage. When you perform the 180 roll, for the first minute or so in that attitude, we expect about a minute LOS.
Loss of signal is LOS.
Copy.
The good TLA. I love me a good TLA.
Yeah, that or ETLAs are good.
I don't want an ETLA.
And extended.
The
three-letter
series of
acronym.
events coming up, we will enter the first traces of Earth's atmosphere 14 minutes, 45 seconds from now. 6:53 and 30 seconds is what is pegged for entry interface at an altitude of 400,000 feet, traveling at approximately 34,800 feet per second, range to touchdown or splashdown 1,701 nautical miles. 24 seconds after the interface, we will enter a 6-minute blackout period in which we will lose communications with the crew. This is expected due to the buildup of plasma around the vehicle. That's an ionization effect.
I got to hit the bathroom
due
quick.
to the collision, if you will, of the velocity of the spacecraft with the friction of the Earth's atmosphere. That 6-minute blackout is expected to begin at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time. During that period of time, we will reach our peak speed of 24,661 miles per hour. That comes just short, based on unofficial data from the flight dynamics officer right now, will come just short of the velocity record set by Apollo 10 of 24,791 miles per hour in 1969.
So are they going to die during the blackout period, Rasa? Is that when they're going to die?
6:54 and 52 seconds p.m. Central Time, a minute and 22 seconds into entry interface. At that point, we will be just 204,000 feet above the Earth, traveling at 33,000 feet per second. The blackout period is expected to last 6 minutes. We expect that blackout period to end at 6:59 and 55 seconds p.m. Central Time.
That's when they're going to die.
From the end of the
radiation
blackout
poisoning
period until splashdown, it is just 7 minutes, at which point we'll start deploying the series of parachutes to slow Integrity down to an ultimate splashdown velocity of just 19 miles an hour.
So they use feet per second.
We see the same waiting for the 180 rolls.
When they're talking to the crew, like they use feet per second, not meters per second in their velocity communication. I don't get that. It's a little weird to me.
Yeah, maybe it's aviation, because aviation's still done in feet, right, all around the world. So that's an aviation thing, perhaps.
I suppose. I think this is...
The parachute deployment sequence, once again, will come in several segments, but in rapid-fire succession.
And we have a great view of the moon out window 2. Looks a little smaller than yesterday.
They're not dead yet. I'll sound to that.
Guess we'll have to go back.
But when they're approaching each other, do they do it in meters per second then, where they're docking with other spacecraft?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Reed Wiseman and Jackie Mahaffey exchanging...
Someone in the chat will know.
View of the moon that Integrity's astronauts are seeing in the final minutes of this mission that will be completed with splashdown just 25 minutes from now. 3 forward bay cover parachutes will be used to pull the forward bay cover off the top of the vehicle. Then 2 drogue parachutes will be deployed to slow and stabilize the crew module during its descent, followed by 3 pilot parachutes that will lift and deploy the main parachutes from the forward bay. The final sequence will have 3 main parachutes deployed. These will be 116 feet in diameter, each main parachute approximately 265 feet long when reefed. The parachutes will ultimately slow Integrity down from its peak speed of almost 33 times the speed of sound to a gentle 19 miles an hour at splashdown.
All right.
The vehicle is now currently in a roll to the proper attitude for entry interface. Our trajectory is right on according to flight dynamics.
Stringfella Hawk says, I asked Chat GPT if Rasa is a real doctor. It said no. Case closed.
I have an interesting... I asked ChatGPT who is Dr. Rasa Vihari, and it told me a really nice answer, if you want to see it.
Integrity
I think you already know
on a
the
trajectory
just
from
read it.
southwest and northeast across the Pacific Ocean.
You could show it if you want, I guess.
Descending at a rate of
it just says
15,000
conspiratorial blah, blah, blah.
There you go.
It knows. Does it ask it your real name? Does it know it's your real name?
No.
It doesn't know your real name.
Matter.
Range to touchdown 4,300 nautical miles. All the systems in excellent shape.
Okay, we got Biggs TG says, working for a government department, why does he need a VPN? Actually,
the whistleblower.
Integrity, Orion in.
Everybody in China needs VPN, for sure, if you want to access beyond the wall.
is using a VPN illegal?
No. You have to pay for it, though. You have to pay for it.
Integrity's windows. We had a call for 3 good barrows. Those are barometric pressure sensors that feed altitude and rate of descent information to Integrity's computers that will trigger the parachute deployment sequence. We are less.
Who runs the VPNs? Who owns the VPNs?
22 minutes from splashdown.
Yeah, what VPN do you like?
They have different. It's been a battle. Sometimes there's so many companies pop up, but then they get taken down. So there's some companies that are officially allowed to stay.
And you think that then your pipe is private if they're allowed by the Chinese? You think that's private? That's hilarious.
Window.
You know they're spying on you, dude.
Yeah, there's nothing private about that.
Yeah,
Out on the Pacific.
and they know that they don't care about you. They know you're a loon. And
a few clouds, some scattered clouds. Winds at 10 knots.
Are you on VPN now then?
Wave heights just about 4 feet.
Okay.
I wouldn't need to be for Zoom.
For the homecoming of Integrity's astronauts.
All right, so
the
this
not so private network.
So what we're seeing here is this is a view out of one of the Orion windows. I think they have 4 windows, and it's probably looking, and it's lit inside the capsule, so that's why you see like the reflection and the perimeter.
Integrity back in EI attitude.
So PJ Tony says that it's a crime to use a VPN in China.
We see the same on board, Jackie.
No, definitely not. It's definitely legal. You just have to use the right companies and pay them.
Can any citizen do that?
I don't trust you, bro.
Houston copies.
So there's the Great Firewall doesn't exist.
Transferring NASA.
Firewall exists. It's
Well,
kind of
why
a
would they
hush.
build
It's a hush hush thing, though. We don't really talk about our VPN use.
Oh, well, but you just did, Rasa.
Yeah.
Now they know. Now they know.
The Apollo missions being a hoax is also a hush hush thing, you know.
Yeah, because you know, oppressive governments have a history of people who are whistleblowers getting away saying whatever they want with private information, classified information.
As long as it's through VPN.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's definitely how it works.
VPN companies that are sanctioned by the Chinese government. We know the reason why you're not in trouble, Rasa. It's because no one believes you. You're just a joke.
Integrity.
All right, so after this, we're going to have, after the splashdown and stuff, we're going to do an after show where we're going to bring Jara White on. Is he still good to come, Rasa?
I think so. His name is Jara, but anyway.
Jara, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now 6 minutes away from entry interface.
And then
we will hit the first traces of Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet, traveling about 34,882 feet per second. Range to splashdown at that point will be 1,701 nautical miles.
And then we'll have an open panel. After a bit, we'll let more people on. We won't have total chaos. We'll keep it to a limited number of people. You can come in and come out while talking and stuff. So it should be a good time. That'll be a separate video, but the same Zoom call.
Once again, just a reminder, some 24 seconds after entry interface, we do expect to lose communications with the vehicle and the crew during a 6-minute blackout period when a plasma shield will build up around the spacecraft due to the ionization, due to heating effects.
Is that the limb of the Earth we can see there?
Dynamics has just confirmed we will have a blackout period of exactly 6 minutes in duration.
It looks like it.
And once again, that's due to the fact that a plasma buildup around the vehicle will prevent communications and data, so we will not be able to talk to the crew members at that time, nor will we receive data here in the flight control room.
Houston, everything's looking good on board. Just confirm no pre-EI downloads.
Houston concurs.
So now
that
SpaceX
period to begin at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time, and again will last about 6 minutes in duration.
SpaceX gets around that because they have Starlink, and they have the Starlink
We're 4 minutes away from entry interface
on the opposite side of where the plasma is, so they're able to transmit through this time.
So the exposure on that camera has changed, and we see why you can see the stars sometimes, because before, when it was overexposed for the Earth, you could actually see stars in space.
Yeah, amazing.
Why are there no stars? Why are there no stars? Yep.
I also like SpaceX's coverage because they have the speed and the telemetry data on screen.
I guess it's just someone stuck their camera out the window.
That looks like what it is. This is pretty exciting. Slithery sent 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Slithery. Really appreciate
this
that.
view
5
from
people
Integrity
do too.
As it crosses from southwest to northeast across the Pacific Ocean, 3 minutes from entry interface. "16.5 minutes till splashdown."
Got that one, Icy Spin. Thank you.
The USS John P. Murtha and the recovery team is on station and in position, as are the airborne imagery assets that we hope to receive imagery from as Artemis enters the Earth's atmosphere and through parachute deployment.
All right. Think about this one, you two.
All of Integrity's systems are in great shape. The crew is ready to complete its mission just 15 and a half minutes from now. All of the activities today have gone off in perfect fashion. No issues with the vehicle, no issues with the crew. And the weather at the splashdown site is go.
Can they take a leak though, okay? Is the toilet working?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, they probably had to finish that a little bit before now.
Right.
There's a question to both of you. What's your favorite shark? You can come back to that. Just think about it. I'll ask you later.
Favorite shark?
Shark.
All right.
Yes. SHARK. Hold on to your butts.
Coming up on 1 minute.
They'll be shitting themselves now. Too late to shit themselves. Yep. Because this is critical time. Yeah, wow.
Tim Dave says, they're already dead. Shit. It's a capsule full of zombies. All right, this is it. Oh, you can see how fast it's moving.
Mark 1 minute until entry interface.
You see how fast
1 minute,
that's going
20
there?
seconds until the expected start of our 6-minute blackout.
Integrity, 1 minute to a 6-minute blackout.
Integrity. Isn't it impressive how they can predict when the blackout's going to happen?
Oh yeah,
that's like science, man.
Real numbers came out of that.
Of course, as anyone running a stopwatch to see how accurate they are. In their prediction. They'll be close. Remember the Apollo 13 movie where they thought they were coming out of the blackout and they took a bit longer to do it? I thought they just added that for effect, but that apparently really happened.
Oh.
The re-entry happened anyway.
I can see my house from here.
We have crossed the threshold, now entering the Earth's atmosphere. We're at 400,000 feet, traveling 34,800 feet per second.
It changed its orientation.
Time to splash down 13 minutes, 10 seconds.
Little bits of stuff falling off a little bit. You see some light. That's from the plasma.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna cut out pretty soon here. There it went.
And as predicted, we've entered our communications blackout.
Oh, yep.
Crazy.
This will be a 6-minute blackout period. No voice, no data from the crew.
I wonder if they're gonna partner with Starlink so they can get their communication while they're...
We're 30 seconds away from the anticipated point of peak heating on the vehicle, where temperatures will rise to about 4,000 to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the true test of our trajectory.
Yeah, I don't think engineers like adding shit to it. Can we put this antenna on this spot?
It takes
the G5
75 meetings.
Aircraft, in the vicinity of the splashdown zone, this view of Integrity.
Oh, that's...
So that pinpoint of light shows the vehicle as it enters the period of peak heating in the Earth's atmosphere, the first tug of gravity being felt by Integrity's astronauts since their launch back on April 1st.
So they've spotted it by camera already. Far out.
That's crazy. So cool. DJ Sarah Jones. 4.5 minutes
until the end of the blackout period.
Says Foster's export, they kick it out of the country.
Splashdown, 11 minutes, 33 seconds.
I wonder why Castlemaine XXX stopped being sold in the UK. It was nicer than Foster's. I don't know what that means. What's Castlemaine?
It's a brewing company in Australia. Yeah.
All right. So, question for you, Rasa. Are you a translator or not?
Yeah, sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
I'm a writer. I'm a writer, and I'm writing in Chinese.
P3 has acquisition on integrity.
Do you write by hand?
3.5 minutes left in this blackout period. This is a visualization of the plasma buildup around the spacecraft and the repelling.
Oh, it's on fire!
On Integrity's heat shield.
It's a visualization. Calm down, flatties. It says visualization on screen there.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yep.
Man, this is nerve-wracking because everything sucks if it doesn't go well here.
Yep. And there was a few experts saying, "Oh, they're worried about the heat shield." So,
yeah, they didn't. They had issues with
Flight
Artemis
Dynamics
1.
reports that airborne assets in the vicinity of the splashdown zone do have a visual on integrity. Still 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in our blackout period. Time to splashdown, 9 minutes, 35 seconds.
Hit the brakes, Jeb. Jeb, oh crap. Thank you, ShedZ49.
Multiple airborne assets as part of the recovery team all have visuals on integrity. And the WB-57 flying in the splashdown zone also has a visual. And the Navy helos also have visuals.
Right.
We're still in the blackout period. Still do not have communications from the crew.
So somebody asked how many G's Kiko 44. They get about the same amount of acceleration as they did on launch, in the vicinity of about 3 G's, and that's uncomfortable. 3 G's is uncomfortable.
Shark answer. I mean, my favorite sharks are the ones that have.
From the crew. We should be out of the blackout period less than a minute from now.
The ones that have the babies eating each other inside the uterus. They're my favorite ones.
What the hell kind of shark is that? That's brutal.
I mean, I think quite a few of them. I think maybe the great white does that. I forget what it's called. There's some scientific name about it, but basically there'll be several embryos in there, and the biggest, strongest one will be the one that comes out because it eats all the other ones.
From integrity.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
All right. They took the visualization down. I think they're expecting to have communication soon.
Landing and support officer reports the small boats are en route to the splashdown target zone.
That's not a video. That's just a still frame or a picture that we're looking at there.
Don't know. Someone asked, did the flurf disconnect? I'm not the flurf, but I just turned my video off. So it's back. I'm back.
We got no flatties here tonight. But Rasa...
Passing through 150,000 feet, our trajectory is perfect.
Oh.
We're getting intermittent views of integrity. Still waiting to establish voice communication.
So Rasa actually got picked to be
Integrity,
on a
Houston,
debate.
comm check, post blackout.
Houston, Integrity, we have you loud and clear.
All right. That's what we
Your
needed.
trajectory is nominal, and your recovery teams have visual.
Yeah. Phew.
Guidance looks good.
No
That
action
was the
for the
hard part.
enabled internal camera controller fail.
Just going to have the parachutes open
From
now.
the viewing room here in Mission Control as voice communication reestablished with Commander Reed Wiseman. For America and a waiting world, Integrity is 5.5 minutes away from coming home.
All right. Rasa, they're still alive. So on Modern Day Debate, Rasa was
Passing 100,000
partnered
feet
with
now.
somebody
Yeah, I
as
guess so.
in a flat Earth debate.
Range to splash
James
down
thought you were
19
flat earther.
nautical miles.
No, he asked me if I would agree to appear next to a flat earther, and I agreed to it.
No, that was a different debate. That was with Kyle Adams,
Oh, that
who
guy.
also used ChatGPT as its main citation. I've got, for reference, I got my NASA shoes sent as a gift to me right here.
Integrity impact to the camera controller fail is no cab 1 views of the chutes.
Integrity.
They just say a camera failed.
I don't know.
We're processing good data through the GPS system. A good view of Integrity. Time to splash down 4.5 minutes. And a view of Integrity from the WB-57. We're at 50,000 feet.
No shoot. There we go. Something's going. Man, there's just cruising, just free falling. I don't know when the chutes are supposed to open. I don't know if this is. I'm assuming.
Pyros are armed for forward bay covered jettison.
Okay, it's not yet. They're still good. There we
And there go
go.
the first series of parachutes. And we're on drogues.
Oh,
All right.
oh yeah.
Houston, we're visual 2 drones at the window.
2 good drogue shoots. Next up,
We copy, we see them.
the deployment of pilot parachutes that will pull the main chutes out. Time to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
So these just take off a little bit of the speed. They're small chutes, so a lot of air gets by them. They're not doing a
Perfect
ton.
descent rate according to flight
Integrity,
dynamics.
Good rates on 2 drogues.
Oh, there's the water.
We see the same on board.
This is from a plane, so it's pretty high angle.
Passing through 10,000 feet. Still on drogues.
There we go. The biggins.
Main chute deploy. We're at 5,000 feet. Search and recovery beacon has been activated on Integrity. And we have 3 good main
Out
chutes.
the window.
All right.
Good 3 main chutes, good reefing, good descent rate.
Good rates, and we see 3 good-looking parachutes.
That's exciting.
Integrity, cabin pressure indicates no need for hydrazine checks.
Hydrogen is one of the
Integrity
fuels.
copies.
This is a perfect descent for Integrity. Its crew sounding Hale and Hardy on board. Time to splashdown 1 minute, 15 seconds.
Yeah, that one looked like an infrared where it was glowing.
Yeah. There's still time for them to die, though.
Yep. They got too much radiation.
Poisons.
Integrity about to complete a journey spanning 694,481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon.
Man, that's so cool. Oh, look at the little flashes they're doing there. Is that for steering that they're doing that?
Passing through 1,000 feet.
Rasa might know. He works for the Chinese Space Agency. Because I don't know what that flashing's for. Yeah.
He's employee number. Probably at altitude control bursts. Oh, it's buffering for me. What's going on? Oh, there we go. All right.
CGI computers just
that's it
itself. Yeah,
that's it.
Integrity splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown, waiting on vehicle.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time.
That was
from the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon. A new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts back on Earth.
Holy cow. Oh, man, that's so cool. They made it.
Congratulations, America.
Yeah.
America,
and the
fuck
landing
yeah.
officer reports the vehicle is stable 1. We still will be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect bullseye splashdown for Integrity and its 4 astronauts.
They don't want a repeat of the Mercury 2 incident.
Nope.
All right. Tim Davidson says they made the trip, saw the moon was haunted, and came back for guns. All right. Beaver sniff. Beaver Sniffin says VPNs are illegal in China, but expatriates and tourists.
The official splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m. Central Time. We'll get that refined for you. That would put the end of the mission at a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 35 seconds.
Ah, wow. Expatriates, tourists aren't typically bothered. I think left out a word.
We're configuring for very low data rate.
For using them, and state-sanctioned VPNs are only legal for corporations.
Once again, splashdown occurring in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego, at 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m.
Integrity Houston, comm check on VLDR.
Houston, we have you loud and clear on VLDR. How else?
We have you the same. We'll meet you over in post-landing.
Perfect communications established.
A journey. We are stable 1, 4 green crew members.
Houston copies all.
Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members. That is not their complexion. That is the fact that they're in great condition. That's what that means.
Aw, Rasa, you were wrong.
Upright, the crew module uprighting system is being deployed. The 5 airbags being inflated through helium to maintain the upright configuration for the vehicle. This was a textbook entry and a textbook touchdown for Integrity. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen back on Earth after a journey around the moon.
Thank goodness I was wrong.
We're all glad you were wrong. AstroKate says VPNs in China are okay for misinformation agents. That's why they let you have it, Rasa. Mm-hmm. Now we know. Oh, and AstroKate, I got fiber. This is my first live stream with fiber. That's a pretty high camera there. We got Sour Pounder says Rasa equals Burger King and pork, Whoppers and Porkies. Rasa, if you want, you could shoot the Zoom link over to Jara. Is that right?
Or we continue to monitor the functioning of the CMOOS system.
Jara.
The airbags are being inflated to maintain a stable one or upright configuration. And there's a good view from one of the naval helicopters hovering overhead. Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members, meaning they're all in excellent shape.
Awesome. Gravity Hits Hard is a new member at Newton and then promptly sends 5 gift memberships. Thank you very much, Gravity Hits Hard. Appreciate that. Pat in the chat says, can you ask TT?
Integrity Houston for SAR Beacon and radio.
TT, what's the max absorbed radiation dose?
SAR Beacon is in 406, and we're powering the radio now. Go ahead.
For Artemis 1.
We see the beacon on. However, the recovery team is not seeing the signal. Your SAR radio uses the same antenna, so you may run into trouble with the radio.
So this question about what's the maximum dose rate?
We are also powering up the sat phone now.
Total absorbed dose on the mission.
And the source, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess the
was it that paper, right?
So
yeah, I mean, I'm just going by this paper, and the maximum rate was
continues
in the worst shielded part,
timeline,
which I guess was.
I muted them for a bit there. They're just doing a little. So yeah,
287 micrograys per minute was the maximum dose rate they were getting while they're going through the inner Van Allen belts, and I think that's the place where you get the worst radiation. They do talk about the other belt here, and it's much lower. So yeah.
And what's the name of that paper?
Right. Yep. It is space radiation measurements during the Artemis 1 lunar mission, and it's published in Nature, volume 634, October 2024.
All right. Rossi says, sadly to Flurfs, the whole Artemis fakery is just proof that NASA is taking flat earthers seriously and trying to counter them. Oh my gosh. There is so much fakery done by flat earthers. So much. It's just volumes of fakery that they have done. And other flat earthers believe it because none of them do research. They just believe anything that matches their pre-selected conclusion. It's sad. Professor Phil Bell says, love him. He says, there goes gravity. Congratulations, America. Thank you so much, Professor Phil Bell. He lives in Australia there. And he's done some work with ISRO from India. He's helped them a bit.
And he also doesn't drink Foster's.
Gravity Hits Hard says, Whitsett is crying. That's all animation! Boston Concert says they need to show inside while floating. Yeah, well, flat earthers will come up with any number of arbitrary requirements that they're going to kick in as something that they need. And as soon as you provide it, it's not enough. But now back to this important one. We've got an answer from that TT guy, the sharks that duke it out inside the prior to being born. Rasa, what's your favorite shark?
The leopard shark. It's very small, but it's beautiful.
Okay. I'm going to go hammerhead.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They're just so weird looking. All right. Let's see if they're saying anything interesting. Oh,
Integrity, Houston did not call.
So looks like they inflated the floaty things.
Copy that, Houston. It might have been on the SAR radio. Stand by.
There they go.
All of the milestones were executed in perfect fashion. Integrity entering the Earth's atmosphere right on time, reaching its peak speed shortly after a blackout period began. We emerged from the blackout period, but the recovery imagery airborne assets were able to pick up Integrity's descent almost immediately through entry interface, tracking the vehicle all the way down. And finally, you saw the sequence of chute deployments. First, the forward bay cover being pulled off the top of the vehicle by a series of 3 parachutes. Then the drogue chutes were deployed, followed by the 3 main chutes that slowed the splashdown velocity of Integrity to just 19 miles an hour.
What about the Wobbegong shark, says Phantom 1704.
Yeah, the Wobbegong. Yeah, well, I've seen that out snorkeling. That lives on the bottom, and it's just it's kind of bottom dwelling shark. It's pretty cute.
How big is it?
Oh, I'm going to say it maybe can get to maybe 1.5 meters or something. I'm guessing
5.5 feet, Americans.
Integrity, Houston, with no joy on SAR and SAT phone, we'd like you to command an additional 15 minutes for a total of 30-minute power down delay.
It's like
I ran into one when I was out snorkeling with my 8-year-old daughter, and when we got out, I said, "Did you see that shark down there?" And I said, "Oh, Dad." She said, "Oh, that was a shark, was it?" Okay. Yeah.
D +30. No joy on SAR radio or SAT phone.
I was really glad she didn't know it was a shark when she was out there.
On SAR radio, please hold comms.
Hey, Lily. Excuse me. Hey, Jackie. We just got the master diver on SAR.
So Nebula Orion noticed also, I did too, the boat that went by looked like its hull was being obstructed partially and then unobstructed. We can see right now the capsule there was being obstructed and unobstructed. It could be swells. It could be
view of one of the fast boats.
Integrity, Houston.
Layers of refraction.
If you are happy with your comm with Master Diver, you can go back to the 15-minute power down.
All right, they got the boats there.
Stand by. Yeah, we'll confirm here in a second.
The crew on board Integrity coordinating with the flight control team in Houston here in Mission Control on the timing of the power down of the vehicle, which will be the precursor to the recovery teams approaching the spacecraft. There are no issues with Integrity. We've had a bit of broken capability in establishing a SARSAT or satellite phone communications capability between the crew on board Integrity and the recovery team. That will get sorted out here shortly. There's plenty of cooling on board Integrity, so there's no rush to begin the power down.
I'm trying to call you on the sat phone and not getting an answer there either.
Concur. We haven't had anything come through.
That's because they're all dead of radiation poisoning. Rasa was right. Oh, no. My God, it's historic. It's historic occasion that Rasa was right. That's never happened before. Far out.
And Houston, if you could relay to recovery that we hear them, but it does not.
Oh.
But it does not appear that they are hearing us.
Oh, he's wrong again. It was so brief for the historic moment.
Houston copies, and Reed, just to confirm, you are pushing the PTT on the radio.
Witsit is a walking colostomy bag, says Natsumi fan Lisa.
So as we continue to sort out the communications between Integrity and the recovery teams, we are standing by for the initiation of the power down procedures that, as you see, the recovery teams are moving towards the side of the capsule. The next major event will be the erection of that large inflatable raft called the front porch. That will be the port of call for the crew as they're being extracted one by one from the vehicle.
NASA has an erection. Did you hear that? NASA's got an erection.
I heard that. Yep, that's where my middle school brain went.
Integrity Houston for sat phone. We are going to attempt to call you.
We do have a flatty in the chat. We got Crizzle. Welcome, Crizzle. Glad to have you here.
Standing by. And Jackie, yes, we are pushing the push to talk, the two buttons on the left side of the radio below the up-down arrows. We are utilizing them. I'm rebooting the radio to see if we get good comms.
Yeah, I'll turn it on again, turn it off again, turn it on. Yeah.
And just to confirm, you are seeing that you are touchdown plus 3030 for power, correct?
That's affirmative.
Witsit is to human knowledge as polonium enemas are to life expectancy, says PhD Tony. Oh, that's a good one. Rhoda, no last name, says obviously
trying a backdoor approach to have mission control here call the crew on their satellite phone. This all part
of an erection and a backdoor approach
down of the process of erecting the large inflatable raft. That's called the front porch. That will be where the astronauts are extracted from, so that they can have a few minutes to get their land legs back.
They're going to go front porch or backdoor approach?
The Navy helicopters for the flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha.
Cannot reply.
Oh my gosh!
I got to say, I do prefer the front porch.
Oh, Big Fish says he got some buffering, but is anybody else seeing? I didn't see any evidence of it here. Icy Smith says NASA's trolling. That is a good troll if they are.
And Houston, please don't reply. NRD, very weak, but readable. Master Diver, we can hear, but they cannot hear us.
Here we go. Rodent, no last name, says obviously the divers go underwater to change outfits and enter the capsule from underneath. Oh yeah, that's going to be the next one. No doubt. Where'd the boat go that was there? Okay. Audio
Could that
buffering?
be what the back door is all about?
Yeah, that's definitely backdoor stuff. No, it's not backdoor stuff, people. All right.
And Houston on OE1, is there any chance to tie us into NRD?
RD. Relative density disequilibrium? He didn't say D twice, so that's not it.
Checking.
Nothing going on. A little bit of nothing going. Oh, here we go. It's like I'd be like, get in there right now. I want to get out. It's been 10 days.
This is Mission Control, Houston. While we stand by for the establishment of communications between Integrity and the recovery team that is basically standing by very close to the spacecraft, we're going to go to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha, where Megan Cruz is standing by with Administrator Jared Isaacman.
Oh, Jared's on the ship there.
Hey, Rob. Yeah.
Hey, Rasa, where's your man?
Able to be here on.
Jera? Is he?
His computer crashed, so.
He had a
he won't
flurf.
be able to make it.
A flurf. Not at all?
No, sorry.
Because his computer crashed?
Yeah. He's got to go to the shop on Monday.
Well, that's a weak excuse. I think he might be frightened of me.
Yeah.
I think he's scared of me.
I was looking forward to talk to him. He's maybe some other time, Jera.
Yeah. Thanks again.
It's always we give each other crap, but it's always good to talk to you, Rasa.
Yeah.
Russ hasn't accused me of CSA on this particular occasion. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to not accuse people of that falsely. Gravity Hits Hard says, it's so great watching this historic moment. MCToon has built such a great community of like-minded people. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Gravity Hits Hard. I appreciate it. It's amazing, this group here, and to live stream and have everybody pop in and just enjoy the time here is great. And Hackerman is a member. Welcome to Globe Earth's Flurfstards. Says that. With the member super chat. Thank you for that. Oh, bless. What's Crizzle? What's Crizzle doing? Anything? Oh, that's a good question. PhD Tony says, how did he let you know if his computer crashed?
He's talking on his phone to me through Skype, and so he won't be able to get here to Zoom.
His phone, he doesn't have a phone like this. He has a phone like this.
I don't know. I guess his phone doesn't have Zoom. I can ask him, but I think
it's free unless you have this kind of phone. Pat in the chat for 20 says $20 says TT. Okay, that's the paper I found. The max dose for the whole mission was 13.3 milligray on the EAD MU01 dosimeter, which is one of the particular dosimeters. Radiation oncology has whole body treatments of 2 gray or 2000 milligray in one shot, 150 times more than that. So it was 150th of the whole body treatment that radiation oncology gives people. Wow.
Yeah. So well within margin. Yeah, of error.
Very safety. Very well within safety margin.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And no one's ever been able to contradict that. No one's ever got data. I thought Russell was going to do it, but he failed.
All right.
Didn't even try.
We got somebody talking here.
Module on the moon. I mean, you have countries, all of our allies and partners coming together saying, we are committed to this effort. We are returning to the moon. We're doing it to stay. We are building that enduring presence. We are going to master the skills on the surface of the moon so someday we can undertake missions to Mars. It's just an incredibly exciting time, and we're not going at it alone. We're bringing everybody along with us.
Absolutely. And speaking of everyone, one more time, we're going to ask the crew here. You guys ready to land on the moon?
None of them are going to land on the moon. Somebody else.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Administrator. Appreciate you being here. We're, of course, going to stay on to watch the crew get extracted from Orion, so stay tuned, and we'll see you back here shortly.
So, this is a good question. Isn't Skype out of business, brah? Says Icy Spin. You can't be talking to him on Skype. It doesn't exist anymore.
Right, it's Teams now. Microsoft Teams.
Yeah. So I want to ask Witz. So Witz is saying all this is animated, but if it was animated, they wouldn't put in this this debacle where they couldn't use the satellite phone, right?
Or where they couldn't use the toilet.
Yeah.
Like the toilet was messed up the whole time. Every day they're like a different toilet drama. You wouldn't do that.
So, this is real life. This would happen when you're doing engineering, right? Yeah.
Yes. And you get dropouts in the video because it's lossy and it's MPEG compression.
Yeah.
That's what you expect. That's how you know it's legit, because that kind of stuff does happen.
I mean, I remember a story, I think might have been Mary Roach wrote a book called Packing for Mars, and she talked about the history of going to the toilet in space, and the early days you crapped into a plastic bag. And and your roommate in the capsule sometimes had to help you locate where you needed to do it. And there was actually sort of about how people had to practice, because that's not normally how you take a turd. You had to practice knowing where to put the bag. I mean, oh my fuck.
No.
Oh no.
Well, the Mercury one, was it Gemini? They didn't even have room to do bags.
Yeah.
They did it right there.
Yeah.
Just in the seat.
So I think they got backups, but I think, astronauts really like it when you got some sort of toilet scenario. That really makes your day, rather than you have
that helps.
I think someone talked about a floater went loose in one of those things as well. Someone had to try and chase down their own crap. I mean, oh my God. So it was a great book because it does talk about all the details of the sort of gory details that you didn't really want to know.
If you want the gory details. All right. Anyway, Pat in the chat. There you go. Good information. Then Pat in the chat says, "Oh, and Witsit sucks." He does. He 100% does. He's part of me is glad he's back, because he's so easy. It's so easy to just tear him up because he's so dumb.
What's happened to his NASA audits website? Remember that? He was going to have this website where you'd publish all the stuff that the whistleblowers would publish there.
It's the website doesn't exist anymore.
Is that right? Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go. I gotta be in the bathrooms. I gotta go again. So I'm gonna turn on the audio.
Two Navy
I'll be back in a minute.
helicopters in a variety of different configurations. Each crew member will be hoisted in sequential fashion, in alternating fashion, 2 crew members for each helicopter before they turn around to head back to the John P. Murtha. Once on the deck of the ship, they'll be brought into medical bay for comprehensive medical exams. But Reed Wiseman has reported several times that the crew is in excellent shape.
That's when they'll discover the tumors, right, Rasa? No? Okay.
That'll be later.
How come Buzz is still alive if you get cancer from going to space?
Some 26 and a half minutes since the splashdown of Integrity in the Pacific. The vehicle is in excellent shape. It performed like a champ all the way down through the Earth's atmosphere. All of the vehicle functions were checked off in excellent trip hammer fashion. The parachutes all deployed as planned. Splashdown occurring at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time.
All right.
And after a bit of a tussle to try to establish a communication.
I've got a guest. Here we go. Here's the guest. This is a cat that nobody's seen before on my show. Right here. She might look like Turtle, but she's not Turtle. This is... Okay, hold on. She doesn't know what to do. Hold on, kitty. You're okay. You're okay. We're cat sitting for a few days. This is Frog. Now, if you know how to spell turtle, put it in the chat. And some people already figured out the right way to spell frog, but drop frog's spelling in the chat here if you know. And she's very like, nope, I want to go. All right, that's my daughter taking her. All right, thank you. All right, who got frog? Yes, PHROG. J. PHROJ is the correct spelling for frog. All right. Oh yeah, we got a what is that? What kind of dog is that? You're muted in case.
Yeah, that's a Kelpie. That's an Australian Kelpie, and
okay.
Yes. He's got a hole in him. But anyway, okay. Bye, Banjo.
Rasa, if any of the other guys want to pop in, otherwise we'll open up to any other Apollo or moon landing deniers to fill Jera's place.
Yeah, he's still trying to figure it out, but it's not looking good.
All right. Well, maybe yeah, I don't know. I'll see if I can install Zoom on this. I mean, if you can install Skype on it. I mean, Teams.
Yeah, I've got Zoom on my mobile phone. Yeah. Maybe Jara doesn't have a mobile phone.
I don't know. So yeah,
they spy on you with the mobile phone. Yeah. So
why
ATM?
Why all the dilly dallying? This is a good question. Like, I don't get it. Like, why does it take so long to get there? Unless the big ship's got to get there. Maybe the big ship isn't there yet, and it's got to, whatever.
I heard someone mention that someone mentioned they needed to be sure there's no hydrazine leaks from the spacecraft before they can approach, because I guess you don't want the divers and the helicopter guys dying of gas.
Yeah, because hydrazine is rather toxic. So hydrazine is the type of fuel that they use for thrust in space. So hydrazine is one part of a two-part fuel combination where all you do is mix them together and they burn, so you don't need an igniter. If you're using oxygen plus hydrogen, you have to ignite it, or oxygen plus kerosene, you have to ignite it. But hydrazine, you don't. You mix it with the other part is basically ammonia, if I'm remembering correctly, and you just spray them together and fire happens, but it's toxic.
What does it push off, though? Hey, Rasa, what does it push off in space?
He's not a flatty like that.
I don't know.
2 choppers, 4 crew plus support teams. Lots of stuff. Yeah.
They got the phone working yet?
Well, let's see. Get the audio going here a little bit.
Once again, from Flight Dynamics, 7 seconds PM Central Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds.
All right.
I love how they asked, did you do the press to talk thing? I wouldn't be able to cope with that. The other guy said, yeah, we pressed the press to talk. I would have said,
reports from the Pacific indicate that the recovery team in communications with the crew aboard Integrity, that the crew remains in excellent shape as they await the approach of the team for a final hazard gas evaluation before they move to the side of the vehicle to erect the inflatable life raft called the front porch.
Okay, hydrazine is similar to ammonia. And the other one, as somebody reminded me now, is dinitrogen tetroxide.
Again, no issues with Integrity. The vehicle is powered down. All of its systems are now safed. We have handed over mission authority to the Exploration Ground Systems folks in the Pacific, but we will not stand down and have the entry flight control team depart its positions until that inflatable raft, the front porch, is erected, the hatch open, and the crew having exited the vehicle. So that's the next step in the recovery process that will lead to the hoisting of the crew members. For 2 crew members for each helicopter, they'll be hoisted to a pair of Navy helicopters that will then fly a short distance back to the USS John P. Murtha. What you're looking at is one of the fast boats circling the vehicle to make a hazard assessment.
So it'll be smelly. They've been in there for 10 days. But I think it's probably the Gemini ones are probably not going to ever be beat, because they just had to do it right there and go like for 2 days. Oh my gosh. No fun. That
the toilet and the food, I think, is what has improved.
Yeah.
I say the food's better as well.
They talked a lot. Every time they're like, oh, we're going to go to our night time, and they got like at 2 hours or something from when they're like kind of off duty until they go to sleep. And they're like, and they're going to eat. And here's what they have on the menu tonight. And they go over this long list of stuff. I'm like, oh, that's cool, I guess. So.
Can you still get a good glass of Tang?
Yeah. I sometimes I hear that was some sort of a like a wives' tale. Like it wasn't actually.
Yeah, I asked, well, they had something similar to Tang, is the official story.
Well, see, what I was told when I was at Cape Canaveral by an astronaut. What I was told by an astronaut at Cape Canaveral at this talk, that they did take Tang, but it wasn't developed for NASA. That's where the myth is. NASA just went out and bought Tang. Oh, this is cool. We're going to buy Tang, and we're going to put it on the mission. And then the Tang company said, "Oh, that's cool. I'm going to promote that." That's the story I heard.
Okay, but now Rasa asked ChatGPT about it.
Yeah.
Seriously, Rasa, don't be lazy. ChatGPT is just use it as a search engine. That's fine. Then go to the website that it finds you, and then you evaluate what you find there. But it was so when Rasa and I were on Modern Day Debate with Kyle, and Kyle said his only thing about the moon missions was that it wasn't possible. He said, because according to ChatGPT, aluminum sublimates in a vacuum. And I'm like, well, how fast does it sublimate? I don't know. It just sublimates. I'm like, yes, it does sublimate. How fast? I don't know.
This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, you're watching the initiation of the recovery of the Artemis crew aboard Integrity. All of the Navy divers and the fast boats are now approaching the spacecraft after conducting a hazard assessment. The vehicle has been powered down. Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling now waiting for the life raft, the front porch, to be erected along the side of the vehicle so that the hatch can be opened and the crew members extracted from Integrity, soon to be hoisted one by one into a pair of Navy helicopters for a short flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha. If you missed it earlier, we talked to Flight Dynamics and received a more official touchdown time or splashdown time, as it were, of 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time, 5:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Pacific Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds.
All right, they keep repeating that. Like, they're filling time. I get it. But yeah, so live in the debate there, I actually Googled how long would it take for aluminum to sublimate, because I asked Kyle and he had no idea. He didn't even know. He thought it would just instantly turn into gas in a vacuum, which would be weird, because how could you make a vacuum chamber out of aluminum? He had no clue. The poor kid. And Rasa's like, oh, dang it, he's my partner.
What was the topic for that debate?
It was.
If Rasa was on board.
It was a moon landing. It
was a moon landing, right?
Yeah. So, and yeah, that was Kyle. Good job, Kyle. It's Kyle Adams. Oh.
Professor Kyle Adams.
Calls himself a professor. How does he know that he's a professor? Well, he professes things. Therefore, he's a professor. I'm almost done with my coffee here. This is my coffee in my NASA mug. I went and just got like all my NASA stuff. There we go. All right. Well, come on. Go get them out. Pull them out. We got to see if they croaked or not. I mean, we know they didn't. They're talking to him and stuff. So, yeah. So then the next question then says rodent no last name. How long until the deadly cancers kill them? Rasa. Any?
If they're alive now, they're not going to get worse. That's for sure.
So you're walking that claim back already?
Which claim?
The claim that they're going to die of cancer later. You're walking that back at this instant.
No, I never said they would die later.
Yes, you did. You said they're going to cover up the cancer treatments. NASA's working on all these cancer treatments.
Yeah,
and they're going to use that to cover it up.
He didn't say. He didn't say die. I think he said silently remove the tumors.
Right.
He can't remember his story from 1 minute to the next.
Too many Scooby snacks.
Yeah. All right, in this interval, so can people scan that?
It says do not scan.
Yeah, I know.
All right, hold on. I will not scan it.
I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work or not. If it's cut off.
It's an Australian website. I'll let people do it on their own. Make sure you go. Yes, go do it.
It's a plug for my T-shirt. You can get that on a T-shirt.
Nice.
I don't think I've actually sold one to anyone except myself. So I'd be really excited if someone bought one.
That's pretty. That's good. I like that.
So it did scan. Okay, cool.
So Truth Nerd says kids nowadays make dihydrogen monoxide rockets.
Oh yeah, I've had some of those.
Man, Ross? Have you heard the dangers of dihydrogen monoxide?
Yeah.
They give it to kids, but inhalation of dihydrogen monoxide kills people in liquid form. And the gaseous form of it causes serious burns. But they give it to kids.
Who's they?
Parents. Parents give dihydrogen monoxide to their kids, unsupervised. They'll just be like, there you go. Did you know that, speaking of sharks, 100% of shark attacks are in the vicinity of dihydrogen monoxide? And
pretty bad stuff.
I like, but parents just like to their kids, like, here you go. And acid rain, a major component of acid rain is dihydrogen monoxide. So I'm so concerned about it. I created a Facebook group that is the dihydrogen monoxide awareness. I forget what I called it. But yeah, it warns of the dangers of dihydrogen monoxide.
It's not real either.
I actually got some solid, in the solid form, dihydrogen monoxide in contact with my skin for a bit too long, and it caused some cell death. So careful. PhD Tony says most people have had dihydrogen monoxide within 24 hours of consuming dihydrogen monoxide. Is that a mistype? But Boston Concerts says, tell TT I just ordered a shirt. There you go. He just ordered a shirt.
Yes. I'm so happy.
Max says everyone who has ever had dihydrogen monoxide has died.
Yep.
Coincidence? Oh, this is interesting. Brenda says, Witsit says one lie invalidates everything NASA says. In chat, they point to Vapegate in Antarctica. If one lie invalidates everything somebody says, then, oh my goodness, Witspit is in trouble. Let's see. Oh, Shedsy linked it. Let's see if that's, is that my, my dihydrogen monoxide. Yes, dihydrogen monoxide truth exposed. That's it. I'm gonna pin that so that people can join it. Thank you, Shedsy.
So speaking of dihydrogen monoxide powered rockets, in the Zoom chat, I've posted a video of me showing some of the dangers of those sort of rockets. It lasts for about 20 seconds, maybe less.
This is you?
Yeah, this is me. Many years ago. It's a younger version of myself.
All right. Well, here we go. We're going to watch it. We're going to not watch NASA for a minute while we do this. There it goes. That's what you get for messing with dihydrogen monoxide.
And now the question is, for anyone out there that's expert at CGI and stuff, is that a real video? Did that really happen?
Oh my gosh.
How long ago did I make that video?
So if
12 years ago.
At this point in the mission, the all of the radiation concerns are gone. All of the leak in the spacecraft where they could depressurize gone. All of the telemetry was or the boost was incorrect. All that's done, right? The too much heat on the reentry gone. The only thing left now, really, that's the risk is the dihydrogen monoxide that they may encounter.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they don't have any inhalation issues.
Which is worth the hydric acid or dihydrogen monoxide?
Yeah.
Hydric acid.
Yep.
Dihydrogen monoxide.
But that's a lot of people in that little dinghy there. Is this just to connect the front porch?
Is to set up.
You're not connecting it, you're erecting it. Come on.
And the stabilization collar. You might also hear it referred to as a stab collar. Basically just to make sure that Orion stays upright, doesn't sway in the water too much, again, to make it easier for recovery forces to get the astronauts out.
Has anyone vomited in there yet? I mean, because you think I could get a bit seasick. That'd be the worst.
Oh.
The worst. I made it all the way back, and now I'm seasick in the capsule on the social card.
Can't imagine they don't give them like Taco Bell didn't cater any of their meals.
In the Pacific Ocean just after 5 p.m. Pacific time here. It's a requirement by NASA to be able to get the crew out of Orion within 2 hours of splashdown. So doing great on time so far. Plenty of time. No rush.
So stop whinging, Toon.
I was speaking.
Stop whinging. They got 2 hours to do it.
NASA flight surgeon Rick Schuring earlier in this broadcast, and
you just know they're like
no rush.
Not 2 hours.
Out.
Please, not
just
2
want
hours.
To make sure that they're feeling good, and whenever they're ready to take their step out of Orion and onto that large raft, the front porch, folks will be ready.
Can they take their phones off airplane mode now?
I don't think they had them on airplane mode. They probably, I would imagine there's a Wi-Fi access point.
Right, yeah.
Well, they had iPads.
And as there are mission audio loops in mission control in Houston, there is a mission audio loop here on the ship. And it was just reported out that the side hatch is open. Side hatch of integrity is open.
All right.
You're getting these beautiful shots from our aerial assets. The ship itself, where I'm on, just 3,000 yards away. Again,
yeah, well, it's good they didn't have to make the call that the integrity spacecraft has lost its integrity, isn't it?
And again, with
that would have been
3,000 yards separating us, great views from the bow here. You can see now that side hatch is open. One of the Navy personnel.
That's a lot of people there in little boats.
There. In they go. In total, 4 will go into Orion. So it'll be a little bit of a tight squeeze, but the goal is to have a recovery personnel with each astronaut assessing them.
Interesting. Why not let them crawl out? Is it just that they've been in space for so long and they're like, might be a little tired or weakened or...
Yeah, I don't know how long it takes before you can't walk. 10 days seems like short. I don't know.
Pat in the chat says the crew must be unlocking the door at the same time the rescue crew pulls the handle. And then Pat says,
getting closer now.
My super chat doesn't make sense.
Again, that one that's right up against Orion.
Now my super chat makes no sense.
That will go in to the spacecraft to check on each of the astronauts. These other boats will begin doing a number of things, putting on that stabilization collar onto Orion, building that front porch.
She won't say erection.
They will
She's sensible.
The parachutes, as well as tow Orion back to the well deck of the recovery ship here.
That's how you know NASA's run by the patriarchy, boys banging on about erections. Yeah. Fuck the patriarchy. Oh, I've said the F word again.
Oh my goodness.
And so as we wait for the Navy and NASA personnel to get their assessment of the crew inside of Orion, why don't we toss it back to Rob for an update?
So much easier landing in the desert.
Thank you, Megan. Here in Mission Control.
All right, they don't have anything interesting at Mission Control. Unfornicated says, Rasa still looks homeless despite his elevated position at Chinese Space Agency. Also, it's RHIB, pronounced rib boat, not a dinghy. Oh, come on. I'm calling it a dinghy. Okay, a rib boat. All right.
Now we're standing by for the erection of that.
That's all
I need. That's it. That's all I needed.
Bloody men. God.
Oh,
pox on the earth.
What Ross is on the phone doing here? Was he talking to Jara, maybe?
He's talking to his dealer.
I need more Scooby snacks.
Scooby snacks are illegal in China.
Are they?
To buy and sell.
So how do you get them then?
I don't.
Can you grow your own Scooby snacks?
You don't.
You know how to grow your own Snoopy snacks?
No, I don't do that stuff.
But your university's in a rural area, right? So there might be some people that could grow it for you.
Ooh.
No, I don't. I changed university now.
Oh, so you moved out of the sticks somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
It's a big place.
Yeah.
So
How
I'm
were you
told.
up before? Were we up before sunrise this morning, Rasa?
Yeah.
It was dark when you got up.
Yeah.
The sacrifices you make for YouTube.
Yeah, I appreciate that because it's difficult to get a time that worked for all of us in Australia, China, and America here. So I appreciate the unusual time frame both you did.
I'm also taking risks of losing my job and being deported from the country.
No, you're not. I think was it IC Spin that had the answer for that. Just misinformation.
Yeah, let me. Let me see if I can find that here. Let's see here. That's not it. No. I'll find it. There. No, it wasn't. Oh, there it is. It was Astrocate. Astrocate said
Okay.
VPNs in China are okay for misinformation agents.
Yeah, right.
There it is. Figured it out.
So I'm pretty bad with the hellos and goodbyes, but I really want to appreciate you guys being on here, and I'm glad to be with you during this historic occasion of the first people around the moon.
Not the first people.
Well, we'll see.
So are you bailing out? Because I think I should ask him the Bart Cerebral question if Rasa's disappearing.
This is a good one. Are you going to back out, head out, or are you going to stick around for after show, or?
No, I have to go. But if you have a last question,
Yeah. All right. So Bart
Cybrell.
You want to play the clip?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get it here. Bart said, and it made me wonder.
On the Rogan show?
No.
On Piers Morgan.
Ah.
I mean, he's probably said the same thing on other shows.
Yeah,
but,
here we go. I'll play it.
I have a friend who works at the Chinese Space Agency. He says that they're blackmailing NASA in exchange for technology that Congress forbid them to receive. And we have an employee of the Chinese Space Agency saying they know the missions are fake and are being blackmailed by the United States. By the United States. He says that they're blackmailing NASA.
Are you Bart's inside guy as an employee of the CSA?
Yeah, I tried to correct him on this. I said I'm not an employee of the CNSA, and most importantly, it's not blackmailing. It's not blackmail. It's a friendly agreement, nothing to do with blackmailing.
But you are his contact when he says that.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. We now know who Bart's been talking to.
Yeah,
that's
all right.
Wow. That's a revelation.
Oh, here's one.
I'm really the leading expert in all of China regarding quantum mechanics.
You said you were
your voice.
You were the leading expert in all of China regarding quantum mechanics. You said that.
Right, regarding that aspect of quantum mechanics, this so-called free energy.
That aspect of it. Mm-hmm. All right.
Physics, how it applies.
I've got the full clip, and you weren't talking in any context. You just said you were the leading expert on quantum mechanics. Basically, and you said that quantum mechanics is that no one in China really knows anything about quantum mechanics, and you're the leading expert. You're kind of denigrating the whole scientific community in China.
For that particular field, there's other quantum physicists, of course, and I'm definitely not the leading. But regarding that particular field, that particular area,
the field of free energy,
right?
Which isn't a thing.
Yeah.
There's
nothing I say is a thing.
There's no over unity devices ever.
Well, you'll see.
It's against the laws of thermodynamics.
Right? Yeah, so that's a Nobel Prize. That's a Nobel Prize.
You'll see. Yeah, maybe I'll get the Nobel Prize. You'll see I'm right in the future.
Yeah. You're the first one to ever say that too.
Dear, oh dear.
What is this part of the porch that they're talking about? That's sticking out there?
Is there any other questions before I head to?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thanks again. I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Rasa. Good to experience it with you. I hope that at least with the other guys on the Apollo detectives, that you can bring to them some sensibility that this is legit, and that they don't continue with the denial of everything. So Apollo detectives, I welcome your entrance into at least accepting this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they do. Artemis.
All right.
It's probably quite a shocker, you know. A lot of people were predicting that they were never going to launch, but, you know, I knew they were.
What were the other guys from Apollo detectives not thinking this was real?
No, they knew, they thought it would never happen, but once it happened, there's no denying it.
Okay.
Well, Apollo happened and they deny that. So, yeah, I mean, that's not really a good argument there, yeah.
It was easier to fake things back then.
But there's photographs of it, right?
Which prove it was a photographs of
the Apollo landing sites. And in fact, Marcus Allen, one of the other Apollo detectives, says this.
I should state right here and now, I still believe they have landed on the moon.
He said that. And this.
I've never claimed that nobody's got to the moon. Never claimed that. What I have claimed is that the record of man on the moon raises questions. Doesn't mean to say they didn't get that. And the image from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter indicates they did.
There we go. I'm with Marcus Allen on this.
Yeah. Rest in peace, because Marcus has left us, Leonard. So, yeah.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's sad. All right. Well, I'll let you go, Rasa. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully,
thanks, Rasa.
We'll get Jara on next time.
Yeah. All right.
Take care, guys. Take care.
Bye, Russell.
Bye.
All right. There he went. He slipped his name in there. All right. I'm going to wrap this particular stream up.
That was an accident. Sorry.
There is a Flurp Wiki entry for him now. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this live stream up and move to the next one. And in the next one, I'm going to put out the Zoom call. People can join in and chat. Initially, Jara was going to join us, but apparently his flip phone doesn't have Zoom on it. So I'll do a quick outro here and a quick intro to the next one, just so that for YouTube we're gonna have a separation between the two. Anyway, everybody, we'll see you in just a couple minutes. Oh, I do need to add just a second before I do this, because you all want to auto switch over. So I'll do the work to get that copy. Go back. It's coming. I'll get it. Almost there. Edit. Customization. Redirect. There it is. Save. Now it'll work, everybody. All right, we'll see you in just a minute.